And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we still got some drama with Fani Wilis. You got your guy, one of Nathan Wade's former law partners, testifying. You said one thing when you were talking to the white lady and you changed it up when she pressed you in court about it. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, U.S. Airman Aaron Bushnell set himself on fire, self-immolation. There's been quite a bit of reaction to it, and the reactions have been all over the place. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Cam Newton having a fight at his own training camp for the youth out there in Atlanta. This is why I say when you leave the community, you must never return. You want to help from the outside, you want to help from afar, you want to give some money, some uniforms, something on the outside, do that, but don't be there yourself, because it'll escalate from disrespect to hands to gunshots. Also, shout out to Obama's former speechwriter, John Favreau, throwing Joe Biden under the bus, talking about he's mumbly and hunched over, and he looks every bit of 1,745 years old. Also, the Denver mayor firing people to pay for the migrant crisis. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We have a whole lot happening. And of course, Trump defeated Nikki Haley yet again in the Michigan primary. Did anybody think anything else was going to happen? I mean, really, at this point, what is the purpose of her still being in the race? We'll get to all that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Mitch McConnell, I almost forgot about that. Mitch McConnell, who is just about as old as Joe Biden is. I think Mitch is 1 year older, but once you get to a certain age and your age begins to show, I think you should count the years in dog years. So that 1 year is about 15 years. Keep it all the way real. These guys are very, very old. And at a certain point, okay, you've had a long life. You've had a good life sometimes. Go ahead and just resign. Go ahead and retire and just hang out with your grandkids and whatnot. Why must you be in office when you are at the podium spacing out? Okay, you pretty much got the little, the circle going around your face. You don't know what's happening. You got birds chirping. You got dogs barking, and you don't know where you are. It's a whole big mess. So Mitch McConnell, will not be the Senate, minority leader. He's going to be done in that role in November. And I hope he just doesn't, he should just leave office. But unfortunately, he's in Kentucky and you have a Democrat governor. So if he resigns, the government will appoint a replacement, probably a Democrat, which would just further have us in the hole when you're talking about the government and conservatives. So there's a lot going on. We're going to get into it. But first things first, shout out to all you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. And if you like what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. But also, shout out to the sponsor. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will be in the box, or just type in patriotpost.us in your browser and tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to my regular websites, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and for each video that I produce, I write an article. And in each article, there'll be sources from left, right, national, international, whatever you need. I got it right there on the actual website front page, anthonyblogan.com. Also, there's always full videos, things I can't play on YouTube. You know, I played the video, but I didn't play it of the guy who set himself on fire. I just played the beginning part. I didn't show what he was Burning Man. I just showed, you know, the beginning before he set himself on fire and then the end when it was over. And they still put it on AgeGate. YouTube sent me an email talking about, are you okay? We want to make sure that you're all right because when you post videos about self-harm, we got to make sure you're all right. It's like, well, I appreciate the concern, YouTube automated email bot, but I promise I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't want to harm myself. I'm not going to go to the Israeli consulate and, you know, self-immolate. I'm okay. I don't have mental illness. I'm just fine. All right. So that's that. But yeah, they put my video on AgeGate, so you got to sign in to watch it. It's a whole big crazy mess. So yeah, that kind of video, I'm not going to play on YouTube, put it on my website. Again, anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to anthonyblogan.com/contact, where you can find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, all those good things and more are on the contact page, anthonyblogan.com. And as I always say in every single stream, and the reason, before I continue, the reason why I give this disclaimer and this warning about bots and scammers and whatnot is because I get emails periodically from some of you guys where you're saying, hey, I thought I was talking to you. I thought that I could trust you, ABL. I gave you some money and you never hit me back. It was a fraud. It was a scam. It's like, well, look, first of all, you didn't give me anything to invest. I'm not your investment banker. I'm not your stockbroker. I'm just ABL. I'm here to deliver the news. If you want to contribute to me, just out of the kindness of your heart, I really appreciate it, but I'm not here to flip your money. I'm not here to invest your money. I suggest you talk to a stockbroker or a guy that you trust, that you could talk to in real life, in face-to-face. Talk to that person about investing your money, if anything. And don't take financial advice at all from me. And as a matter of fact, what I just said about talking to somebody, don't pay that any mind. The bottom line is I'm not going to give you any kind of financial advice on this channel. And I'm never going to say, well, I ain't going to say that. I could give you some things that I do, but I'm not going to say, hey, Mr. Person, give me your money and I'll invest it for you. That is a scam. All right. So if you see somebody in the comment section replying to your comment on one of my videos who may have my picture or a name similar to mine, and they say, hey, my friend, can you donate $5 to this email right here? That's not me. I don't talk like that. Okay. So that should be the first red flag. It's going to be a Nigerian dude on the ground out there in Lagos, Abuja, River State, somewhere. And he's going to be on his Samsung phone from 2013, scamming you from sun up to sundown. That's his job. He has no other occupation. He's always available to talk to because that's what he does for a living. He's a 24/7 scammer sales rep. Same thing for these Eastern European guys that weigh 1 trillion pounds on the floor in some field of corn and wheat in Ukraine. That guy will do the same thing the Nigerian guy does, which is scam you. So we don't have time for that. We appreciate our money. We need our hard-earned money. We don't have time to give it to these low-life scammers on the interwebs. So please, oh, please, oh, please, don't fall for it. If you see someone with my picture and a name that looks like mine talking about give them some money and they'll invest it, it is a scam. Don't do it. You've been warned. And I warn you every week, every show. So if I get an email, don't blame me. Blame the white man or the Nigerian man who is probably in a hovel somewhere with about 45 other guys on their 15-year-old cell phone devices scamming you all day long. Now that I've got that out the way, let's keep going. Somebody said, Zeladon says, is this really ABL now? Hey, man, you know what? This is probably the best way to know that it's me, that I'm able to actually respond to you. Now, if I wasn't able to respond and I'm just kind of talking, you might want to, it could be AI, it could be a hologram, maybe it wouldn't be me. But since I'm able to actually talk to you and answer phone calls and things like that, the interaction lets you know that it's me live in the flesh. But hey, man, in 20 years, maybe even sooner than that, you may not know if it's me talking at you on the YouTube. They may get so good with the holograms and the AI and all that good stuff. Someone's entire likeness, everything about them, from the way they look to their mannerisms and the way they sound, all of that may be able to be duplicated. And then you could see somebody, you could talk to them electronically, but it's not them. So we may get there one day. I hope not, but hey, we may get there one day. Now, we have a lot going on here. And yeah, RIP to Virgil, the wrestler. RIP to Virgil. I saw that come across my timeline. I think that was earlier today. Yeah, RIP to him. Now, we have a lot going on. Okay, speaking about money and finances and things of this nature. Okay, I'm not here right now to give you financial advice, but I want you to see something. This is about the national rent growth. All right, the national rent growth. Now, the rent for one bedrooms is down from this time last year, but it's still very high depending upon where you live. All right, it's still very high for the median. Now, let's look at this, and then I'm going to show you some things that kind of put it in perspective. All right. So here's a graph, and I'll read it, of course, for you guys who cannot see the screen. And of course, you're listening to a podcast right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right. Hold on. Somebody says I'm blurry. Let me make sure that I'm not blurry. If I'm blurry, you'll let me know. Maybe you got to get your settings together. But I think I'm good. If I'm blurry, it might be your device. You might have the Nigerian guys 2016 Motorola Razr watching me. I'm playing. But let's go back to the chart here. So national one bedroom rent prices on the median are down 0.7% from this time last year, February of 23 to now, February of 24. Okay, so you see the downward trend, but that ain't the full story. The media, they may show you this and say, hey, man, the economy's doing good. Look at the rent prices. They're going down. Housing is more affordable. That's what they'll say, right? That's what they'll say. But check it out. Here's the reality. Now, this is right now, February 2024, one bedroom median rent prices. Okay, now you guys know the difference between median and average. And I'll explain for you guys who may not know. Average is when you take all the rent prices, add them together, and divide it by the total number of prices. So let's say there was 500 different prices. You add each price and divide the number by 500. That'll get you your average. Now, the median, you take all 500 rent prices and list them physically on a sheet of paper, and you point your finger right at number 250. That's the median. That's right at the middle. So look, New York, one bedroom median rent price, New York City, $4,200. So when they do things like give a brand new quote unquote luxury apartment building in Harlem, New York City, which ain't nothing but Upper Manhattan, right? Same island. When they're giving a brand new luxury apartment to migrants for free, I would presume, you got to understand why they'd be upset. When the average one bedroom median, when the one bedroom median rent price is $4,200. Now check it out. For Jersey City, New Jersey, not too far away from New York City, $3,140. Now San Francisco, $2,900. Boston, $2,820. Miami, Florida, $2,650. San Jose, California, $2,400. Arlington, Virginia, 2,330. Now, Arlington, and that's gone up since the last time. Arlington ain't nothing but DC. And you see DC at the bottom of the list, number 9 at 2250. Now, in DC, good luck finding an available apartment at all, let alone a house. Forget about it in DC. Arlington, 2,300. DC, 2,250. LA, 2,250. San Diego, 2,300. 1 bedrooms. I mean, and people are talking about, hey, man, just go out there and get you a little studio apartment. The days when I was young, early 20s, Arlington would have been much cheaper. Arlington, Northern Virginia in general, has become Washington, D.C. As the government has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, so has the expenses of that area. So has population of that area. That population has grown in Northern Virginia because of big government. There's all kind of government contracts and specialty this. And if you go out there, Northern Virginia, a lot of the people that live there have some kind of connection to the government when it comes to their occupation. Without big government, Arlington, Fairfax, that whole area wouldn't be as big as what it is. And that's just because check it out. What is the industry of Northern Virginia? What is it really? New York City, you got finance and whatnot, but Northern Virginia, their industry is you, the taxpayer. That's their industry. All right. So yeah, I'm glad I live out here. Ron McKay says, screw East Tennessee. No one lives there or wants to. You know what? Hey, I'm right there with you, man. Screw East Tennessee. East Tennessee sucks. Don't move here to East Tennessee. It sucks, man. It's really bad. Okay, we got these big roaches the size of baseball bats. They fly all over the place. It's a mess, man. You know what you should do? Go to the west part of Tennessee. Go to Memphis. Right there. Okay, South Memphis. Go live there. South Memphis, North Memphis, Fraser. These are beautiful neighborhoods that are very affordable. Live over there. And I'm playing. Please, please, please don't do that. If you enjoy breathing, don't do that. East Tennessee is a great place to be. I mean, people talk about it all the time. People talk about places they don't like that are perfectly fine. And if you don't like it, that's great. If you don't like it, I love it because I love it out here. All right. I 100% love it. Let's keep on going here. Okay, here's something. So we're talking about money and stuff like this. Afterpay. Have you guys ever heard of Afterpay? Have you guys ever used it? Now, this young lady is going to give you her girl math version of Afterpay and how, in her mind, it makes sense to use it. All right, let's check it. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's get a little bit of sound. That might help. And there we are.
Can we talk about how dangerous Afterpay is? Don't remember when I first discovered it, but I realized it's on like Aritzia, it's on Sephora. Can't remember what else. It's on a lot of stuff.
What is Aritzia? You know, I don't know all these little words. So, you know, I'm old. I gotta, if y'all know, y'all gotta fill me in. And shout out to you guys on the Facebook. Shout out to Mark Martin, Christine, Juliana. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for watching.
So like a lot of websites will be like, or for interest-free payments of this amount with Afterpay. My little monkey brain is like, it's basically like it's free. It's basically, I'm girl mathing it is what I'm doing, if we're being honest. I bought a Dyson Airwrap and I bought it with Afterpay because it's like $800, but it was 4 interest-free payments of just under $200. So I was like, it's basically $200, which means it's basically free.
Okay, so for you guys who are kind of confused, Afterpay, this is when you're online shopping and you see options to pay. One will be for your credit, debit, whatever, Google Pay, whatever kind of payment option you have. Then there'll be a thing called Afterpay. Maybe it'll be Klarna or whatever. And what you can do is make installments. So let's say, for example, whatever you're buying is $200. There'll be an option for Afterpay that says, hey, you can make 5 payments of $40. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead and do it that way. And a lot of these girls and people in general are using Afterpay thinking that they can just make the payments and then they wind up in debt over it. And her lips, obviously, we got lip fillers. That's a thing. That's like a trend nowadays. I don't know who told them to get that. It's not really, it doesn't look good. In my opinion, lip fillers is like a BBL. When you see a BBL, Brazilian butt lift, and they got these really crazy butts, it's like it doesn't match. Look, whatever God gave you, work with that. Okay, whatever God gave you, naturally work with that. When you try to add on little pieces, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, it's just not really a thing. It's not like a house. With a house, sometimes you may have extra land you can build on, build an addition, but your body's not that way. Your legs are built for a particular house to sit on it. When you put an addition on your legs, the foundation and the land isn't available. So all you're going to do is just intrude on your neighbor's property and become a nuisance and have everybody get upset with you. But I digress.
Need to get it. And I do love it for that reason, because you just, you pay what you can now, and then you go to work and you pay your credit card and you pay some more. Like, it works. It actually is great. I love it. But the amount of shit I have bought that I should not have bought because of Afterpay is just wild. Like, I'll make like an $800 Sephora order, but it's Afterpay, so it's not really $800. It's like $200 4 times. So really, I'm saving money is what I'm doing. Anyway, Afterpay, I love you. Kind of wish I'd never discovered you. But also, I don't mean that. I love you. I love you so much.
So there we go. That's the girl math of Afterpay. If you guys see these payment options on your online shopping, I suggest you don't do it. Okay, it's like a credit card, but not a credit card. So I suggest you just don't do it. Yeah, it's a whole lot happening, and the lip fillers also don't do this. Don't do this. It's a whole lot going on, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, what's the interest rate on these things, Afterpay, Klarna, or whatever? I've never used those. All I have is a credit card, and I use my credit card like a debit card. That's how I use my credit card. I don't, buy things I can't afford. Hold on. I'm going to show you something right quick. And it might be a good segue. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for right quick, because this is a thing that's pretty important. People use their credit cards improperly. Here we go. This is what I want to show you. Okay, let's not do that. Let's do this. Now, I've shown this before, but you guys may not have seen it.
Guys,
when you go to a gas station, sometimes there's skimmers on the pumps. And you guys know what skimmers are. Basically, when you put in your credit card into the actual credit card swiper at the gas pump, sometimes there's something over the real credit card, I guess you would say, interface, called a skimmer. And the skimmer will read your information and then send it remotely to somebody else, so they're able to get your number. I got done like that in Atlanta one time, I think. I don't even know what happened, but they got my credit card number some kind of way. Somebody bought a whole dog at PetSmart. It's like, really? You're going to buy a dog with a stolen credit card? That's crazy. I mean, you could adopt a dog from the shelter. Why you got to steal my credit card and buy a dog? That's crazy. That's totally crazy. You need to go to the penitentiary. You need to get Fani Wilis to give you the RICO for buying a whole dog on a stolen credit card. But anyway, I'm getting triggered. So I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you a way to avoid this kind of situation.
so I found another skimmer device. Basically, if you come to a pump and you select the buttons and they kind of have to be forced in and they're not popping up like they should be, most likely you have a skimmer device. This one is the overlay that captures your data when you type in your button for your PIN number. That's being recorded and that's also being transmitted. So when you slide your card and you push the buttons, the numbers are being captured on this device here. Now, as far as your card reader, if you pull this, if you ever go to any place where you can swipe your card, most likely this is what they put there. So if you can try to pull it.
So you see what's going on. You see the skimmer device right there. You put your card through that, then they can steal your actual credit card information. Now, here's a way to avoid it. What I do is I go to the pump. They may have it on this one. Let's see if they have it on this one. They may not have it on this. But at the pumps I go to normally, they have the Apple Pay interface. So I just use either my Apple Watch or I pull up my phone and I'll just pay that way. And that can't be skimmed because it's using the token. It's not going to transmit your credit card number. And there's no way to actually skim it. You just use the interface they have right there, and then that'll be it. Even if they were somehow able to create some type of device on top of a Apple Pay scanner that could scan your information, which I don't think they can. But even if they could, it doesn't matter because all they're going to get is a token for that individual transaction that cannot be descrambled back to your actual credit card number. Also, use a credit card when you go shopping for anything rather than your debit card because it's easier to dispute transactions on your credit card. A bank may give you your money back, but a credit card is bound by federal law to do it unless they detect fraud, which is a whole different story. If they detect fraud on you, you might go to the penitentiary, make big rocks, little rocks. Credit card fraud is a big no-no, a big no-no. Don't do that. I don't want nobody to go to jail and say, hey, man, ABL said it's the law. You got to reimburse me. No, you're going to the joint. They're going to pull up. They're going to pull up satellite data. They're going to ping your phone. They're going to do the whole Nathan Wade, Fani Wilis situation. They're going to ping your phone. They're going to have cameras on you. They're going to pull up. They're going to do the whole Juicy Smouye situation. They had cameras of these dudes in the Uber. They had them in the beauty supply store. So don't do that. It will be an investigation and you will go to the penitentiary. All right. But let's keep on going here. Now, let's take a look at what's happening over on the left coast. Oh, we got to see this, because I was talking about the expensive places. And I think some of the places, of course, on the left coast, you're talking about San Francisco. What was that? Somewhere in the Bay Area. Also, I believe San Diego, Los Angeles, a lot of the top 10 expensive cities to live as far as one-bedroom rents and other expenses, gas, food, everything, left coast California. Now, take a look at what you get in some of these areas. All right, here is Oakland, California. Now, I know Oakland is not San Francisco, and it's probably going to be a little bit cheaper, but take a look. All right, look at this here. This is what you're going to be. Look, if you can't live in San Francisco, it's a little bit too expensive. You're going to be passing this. Now, we have devolved. Look, do you see this? People are building houses out here. Okay, they're building structures. It's like we're getting into the favelas. We're getting into the Mumbly slums in the USA. I never thought I would see this on American soil. Slums. All right. Now, of course, we're not quite at the level of a Mumbai or Rio de Janeiro slum, but it's the precursors of it. This shouldn't be happening in the best country in the world, in any place in the best country in the world. But here we are. Oakland, California. I mean, did the bomb go off? Is this Gaza Strip? Look at all these cars just beat up. Why are the cars so beat up? Is it a junkyard we going through? I mean, it's crazy. You couldn't pay me any kind of money to live anywhere near there. I don't care if I lived in the best part or the worst part. I don't care if I lived in the suburb that's near Oakland. I don't want to have to ever go through that a day in my life. All right. I don't want to go through that a day in my life. Never, ever. So, yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah, I mean, it's policy. I've never seen anything like that on the East Coast. The closest thing was Philadelphia and Kensington. But even they don't have this kind of stuff. I mean, look, these are not houses. These are structures that people built out of debris. Okay, you don't see that anywhere else in the United States except for the left coast. Have you seen this thing? Like, okay, have you seen anything like this? These structures, 2-story homeless encampments that they just made up out of random materials. Have you seen anything else like that anywhere in the country? You let me know. Hail Mary says you say your daughter's in Oakland. So how does your daughter like Oakland? Does she have to go through this kind of stuff? Now I know that may not be the entire city looking like that, but if that's anywhere in my city, then I really shouldn't be there. Okay, I really shouldn't be there at all. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, the tiny houses, the Lego houses are coming. You guys have seen that, right? The Lego houses, they're coming. Hold on, let me see if I can find it right quick. The Lego houses are coming. They've already said it. Like, it's not even at this point, or not even houses, apartments. It's not even a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Hold on, I gotta find that. If I can't, I'll move right along. And if you like what you're hearing so far, oh, here it is. Yep. But that ain't the video. So they built some apartments in like 28 days. 28 hours. They built a high rise in 28 hours. And it was like a bunch of prefab stuff, like Legos. Okay, here it is. I've shown it before, but I got to show it again because it fits what I'm talking about right now. All right, let's check it. Is it going to play or nah?
Chinese never cease to amaze the world. This time, the Chinese company Broad Group has developed a building assembly technology that provides unparalleled construction speeds. It took just 28 hours and 45 minutes to create a 10-story residential building using the prefabricated components of the living building. The core elements of this new system are factory-made modules built around a stainless steel frame. All typical components of a living space, including insulation, electrical wiring, plumbing, glazing, ventilation system, and finishing, are fixed onto this frame. For the flooring, Broad Group uses their developed B-core slabs. These slabs consist of 2 steel sheets interconnected with numerous short vertical tubes across the entire surface.
So you see how they go. It's just like prefab stuff and they just fit it together and it could just get done very quickly. That's coming. That's coming here. I mean, they already are asking for it. They're already getting the money together. It's coming. In Georgia, somebody said that it's coming to Georgia, and best believe it's coming to California. Now, the problem is that this kind of thing would not solve homelessness. You know, the way to solve homelessness in California, especially, is to stop enabling it. They're homeless in California because they're able to get a bunch of benefits. They travel from all over the country and all over the world to be homeless and smoke crack in California. All right. That's until you eliminate the draw, you're not going to eliminate the problem. All you're going to do with these is just create more of a draw. Oh, maybe we get houses too? So we can smoke crack out in the open, shoot heroin. We get money. We get food. We get all kind of resources. They had them, remember those crack, how can I call it? It was like crack gift bags. Remember that? I want to show that right quick before we keep on going. There were crack gift bags. Now, I'm not making this up. They had these handouts they would give at a church in California. I think it was in Los Angeles. And in the handout, they would have all your crack paraphernalia. Chapstick, a little piece of candy, the pipes, all that. Right in the little container. I got to find that right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. So like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, here we go. You ready? Now, I've shown it before. It's on my channel, but let's watch it. And of course, there's a bunch of money in these kind of things. Check it out.
Every Tuesday and Friday in Hollywood, they have a Catholic church that gives this stuff out. This is what we living at, y'all, and this is what the government's doing. Joe Biden said he spent $60 million on paraphernalia.
$60 million from the federal administration, I suppose. He said Joe Biden said it.
For drugs. And this is what it looks like. It says being alive. This is a meth pipe.
Yep.
Right here with this bubble thing. I guess you put the meth in there. This is a crack pipe.
Yep.
Okay. These are all instructions on how to overdose treatment and education. This is the needle in here. I'm not going to open this.
That's for heroin.
Yes, for heroin. It has the alcohol pass.
That's a real
and stuff.
needle?
It's a needle in there.
Oh my God.
And these things are like a
So we got little breath mints right here, chapstick, all of that.
black and mild filter that you put on the crack pipe so you don't think no one's saliva, so you don't get sick, and you can do your drugs. And so this is
So they like it. So they like, if you're gonna do drugs, we're gonna give it to you so that you can do it the proper way without getting sick.
Because we're not stopping it. We're not going to stop it.
Exactly.
This is letting you know that it's going to be here. This is what they.
You know what's funny is that he said, well, the piece on the end can prevent you from getting sick. Well, I guess if you don't get sick from another person's saliva on the crack pipe is okay. You know, that's cool. But if you overdose and die, well, it's whatever, man. You know, sorry you died from the meth and the crack and the heroin and the fentanyl that we enabled you to use. But hey, at least you didn't use a dirty needle or smoke a dirty crack pipe. Okay? You dead, but hey, it was a clean death, right? Again, from the Biden administration, $60 million to give crack pipe kits in Los Angeles, California. Don't you love the government and how your tax money is used? Imagine going through years of court fighting the IRS to pay like $2,000, and then millions of dollars get spent on illegal aliens, crack pipes, meth pipes, heroin needles. Imagine that. Not a very good thing. Shout out to the federal government. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Somebody said AIDS filter. If you like what you're hearing so far, give the video a thumbs up and share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now let's go back to San Francisco and look at some of the abandoned businesses, abandoned areas. Then we'll move on away from that. All right, we got to turn that music off. This is Nob Hill, the Nob Hill Grill. That is closed up. Vinicello. If you guys know about the area, you let me know if you recognize these places. Smith, Encore Karaoke, Blur, Finn. It's a Grind. All these places look like they might have been, really hot spots back in the day. And now look. Barley, Better Bakery, Mini Pot Stickers, Polk St. Florist, Big Apple, Food Rocket, Spencer Daniels Wine Cellar, Mainframe, High-Low Club, Piccadilly, Polk St. Produce, Sudichi Sushi, Sanctuary, all these places closed down. Lombardi Sports and San Fran, Bank of the West, Don's Auto. So that's Nob Hill and San Fran. I mean, and remember the rent, you're talking about some of the highest in the actual country. The highest in the country, San Fran. But look at how desolate a lot of the area looks. How run down and beat down and abandoned a lot of the area looks. So you're paying sky high rents to live next to just, it's a weird, you got abandoned neighborhoods, beat down, just crackheads everywhere, and you paying very high rent right next to that. That's what's happening in California. All right. So yeah, RIP to that particular place. Oh, speaking of drugs, let's stay on the drug wave for a minute and talk about your man. Zelensky. Because I don't know what's going on with him in this video, but I want you guys to decide. You guys decide what's happening with this man. Excuse me.
Mr. President, I just returned from several areas along the front line in the south and in the east, and soldiers there told me they have to ration their ammunition. They don't have enough weapons to advance. They can only defend themselves. In some cases, they're losing territory. What happens to your country if this American aide doesn't arrive?
We will lose a lot of people. We will lose territory.
Now, was it just me, or did I see a lot of tweakish behavior? Is it just me? Like, maybe I'm tripping. I don't know, but I'm seeing some tweakish behavior. Like, what is going on? What's going on with your guy, Zelensky? Do you guys think that he might be on some kind of substances, or is he just stressed out because of the war? What do you think is happening with this man, Zelensky, the president of Ukraine? Okay, somebody says tweaking. He needs a fix, doped up, cocaine, coming down from the coke. Yeah. Shout out to Rick James. Coke or meth. He's on crank. He's bugging out. Yeah, his eyes tell you a lot for sure. Yeah. Yeah, the eyes tell you a lot. The eyes are the window to the soul. You know what I was always told, and I'm not saying he's doing it right now, but what I was always told is that if you can see the bottom white and the top white in somebody's eyes, then that's somebody that you might not want to mess with. If they're looking at you dead on and you can see, you know, the pupil, all of that, if you could see out the white and the bottom of their eye and the top of their eye all the way around, that's somebody that might be a little bit off, about 75% off. Okay, but I wouldn't get one free BOGO. Somebody said Kokelinsky, hilarious. So yeah, that's your man right there. That is your man, Vladimir Zelensky. We've given Ukraine how much money, and it's like it's never enough. It's like a never-ending thing. You know what's happening with Ukraine? We're never going to give them enough money. It's always going to be. It's a begging bowl that leaks. Shout out to George Aite for that one. Even though you know, Ukraine has a begging bowl that leaks. No matter how much you put into it, it'll never be enough because it's just an endless thing. And it's a grift also at a certain point, because how many contractors and people are getting their piece here and there, off the top, on the back end, on the side? It's a mess. So yeah, the sooner we stop giving Ukraine money, the better, in my opinion. Okay. Now I got one more crack clip, then I move on. This ain't the crack show, but this is in San Diego, and somebody gets caught smoking crack right outside.
Hey, chill out, man. What you doing?
Have a good day. I apologize.
Nah, man, what you doing right here?
I'll keep recording, motherfucker.
Ooh, that's a whole pipe. Bro, what the hell?
You know you wrong. I said I apologize.
So what she's doing right there is in the middle of the daytime, smoking crack just out in the street. You got little kids walking by, all of that. And hey, I'm just out here smoking my crack, and it's fine. You know, back in my day, crackheads had shame. They wouldn't just be out in front of Sbarro Pizza or wherever she is, or 7-Eleven, Pizza Hut, just getting high in the middle of the daytime. They had some shame. They go off in the woods. They go off in the corner. They go to the little crack village and do their thing. But now they're just out here. And if you want to say something to them, then hey, man, you are going to get cussed out, assaulted, or whatever. That's how things are going nowadays. All right. So yeah, California, I can't do it, man. You guys, if you like California, you with it, then hey, if you like it, I love it, but I'm good. I am good on that. Now let's move right along. No more crack stuff. Joy Reid, aka Donald Trump Jr. Joy Reid, these hairstyles, man. Look, check it out. Joy Reid, listen to me very well. Hear me well. I'd rather you be bald head like me, bald head like the Black Panther warriors. I'd rather you be completely bald head, skinhead, Nazi style, than to have these crazy wigs on. Maybe, like I said before, you're trolling us because this is a Donald Trump wig. I don't know who wore it better, you or him. Do you have one of his old wigs from The Apprentice? Did you go into the actual prop room and throw on one of Donald Trump's wigs, like what's happening? This is crazy. But she's talking about there are too many people. So now she's going to end a Trump-inspired hairstyle. She's going to endorse eugenics. You ready? Check it out. Natural blonde was funny. You guys are hilarious. A naturally blonde wig, a naturally blonde hairpiece, a naturally blonde toupee, a naturally blonde color that somebody put on that toupee. I mean, at least get the regular hair match. Get that part to match. Anyway.
The United States has a population of north of 327 million people. Why do we need more kids? I mean, your party, Senator Tuberville, is the one screaming that 10 million immigrants, which I don't even know that that number even makes any sense because it doesn't, have streamed into the country since Joe Biden has been president, and you're claiming that that's too many people, that if more people come into the southern border, this is some sort of crisis because we've got too many people and we've got no more space and we can't afford more people. But now you're saying we need more kids? Can you explain who's...
Now, okay, you're talking about migrants. See, what she's saying is she's telling you while advocating for kind of like eugenics and trying to defend the migrants, she's telling you why the migrants are coming in. What she's telling you is that, well, we don't need any more kids because the migrants are serving the purpose that the kids will serve. That's why they're coming in. That's part of the reason why. You know, and also you can replace American-born citizens with the migrants because they tend to be more loyal to the people that brought them in, the Democratic Party. So now you're able to hold on to your voter base. And since they're coming in without proper citizenship status, they'll do jobs under the table. They'll be the new slaves. There's no more need for the brutality that we experienced or our ancestors did. There's no more need for that. They'll just bring them in voluntarily and take advantage of them. Have them work hard jobs or just menial labor jobs for a low amount of money. The minimum wage argument, all of that would get pushed to the side because it won't even matter. You can have a high minimum wage. It could be $1,000 an hour, but it doesn't matter if all the minimum wage jobs are being taken by these migrants who get paid under the table and get paid next to nothing.
Explain who's the we and what's the purpose?
Oh, was that a bad freeze frame? I mean, show me a good freeze frame.
You're also a senator from the state of Alabama. God help the people there. Are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids? Why does the state of Alabama need more kids? More kids for what? There was a time when the state of Alabama absolutely needed more kids because, you know, Alabama was a slave state. And the mandate of the planter class in Alabama was for black women to produce more kids because those kids were property and they could work more kids. And
see, now we're going back. You're talking about things that are not relevant to today. The reality today in 2024, the birth rate among white Americans is about 1.4-ish. Among black Americans, it's like 1.7, 1.8. And to achieve replacement, you need a birth rate of about 2.1 in the West. It's higher over in third world countries because of infant mortality being higher over there. So that means each person needs to produce 2.1, to replace. Like each person or couple needs to replace at least 2.1 children to have good growth. When you're at 1.4, 1.8, you're going to have negative growth. You're not having enough children. So he's referring to that. You're talking about things that are not relevant to today's topics.
Make more money on their plantations. Are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids because you think that those populations will include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough if you kick out the immigrants like a lot of y'all want to do and you could make them do the work that the migrants are doing now?
So she's saying it right here. She's saying that the migrants are desperate and easily taken advantage of to do these labor tasks for a small amount of money. And if the migrants weren't here, then the Americans would do it. She's telling you exactly the plan. while trying to defend it and trying to be stealth about it. But if you just read between the lines, she's telling you the migrants are here to do the work that Americans could do, but not for the money. People say all the time, they say, oh, you know what? Americans are just lazy. You don't want to work. Nah, it's plenty of Americans that would do construction jobs, will do farming jobs, but we're not trying to frame a house for $10 an hour. Okay. $8 an hour. That's the point. That's the problem. Then they say, oh man, they work hard. They work better than Americans. Have you seen new construction? Have you heard the horror stories about new construction? Why do you think a house that costs $500,000, $800,000 has simple, just structural issues with framing and foundation and the wiring? Because you paying these illegal aliens $10 an hour. So let's just put it in perspective. Anyway, I digress. Now, I tell you what, this right here, if anybody wants to know what they can give me, if anybody wants to know a good gift to get a man, or even to get me for birthday, Christmas, or whatever, this would be a great gift, especially in today's day and age where we got so much border instability, insecurity, a lot of things happening, food shortages, perhaps that might be a thing in the future, very high price of inflation. This right here, the entire thing is what I want. Now, let's check it out. All right. Now, first things first, we're seeing we have food, canned food. We have a lot of different things going on here. These paint buckets and whatnot probably got some more food in it. You see, you got rations, you got a lot of different things. So that's already a good thing to have. Now let's check out what's behind door number one.
Hey everyone, just wanted to show you the newest addition of my prepper pantry. This is a gun cabinet I just built. It's basically Minuteman ready.
Now that right there is a thing of dreams. Okay, so we got a vest, we got the ear protection, we got some for magazines, and I'm sure all the mags are loaded. Okay, we got a med kit, we got regular rifles, we got kind of like AR style rifles, we got regular handguns, we got ammunition, we got water, we got all of that.
Ready, SHTF gun cabinet, got my ARs in there, got my plate carrier, ammo. There's my prepper pantry right here, all stocked up. On the side of the cabinet here, got my bug out bag and chest rig. And over here is kind of like my admin table. Clean weapon there. Got my radios charging. Up there's cleaning supply stuff, some medical stuff, batteries, household stuff. Here, we got the bug out badge ready to go. Hey everyone.
Love it. Love it. Now, I need that kind of room in my house. I have some of that stuff in the pantry. Allegedly. There's a part of my house, allegedly, where there's that kind of thing in there, but I need to have it a little bit more well fitted. Allegedly, I have ear protection. I got a couple rifles, a couple guns. But, you know, I had all those things before the boating accident, so I don't have it anymore. But that right there is beautiful. Beautiful thing. I do have some food preparation. I got some canned goods, and I got some, like, MRE style stuff. I have some of that for sure. But that, I'm going to need it. I'm going to need it. All right. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Now, let's go to some woke stuff. Let's go to what's happening in our country. We got to, you know what? We know what we need. Not only do we need more kids, we also need more kids who are not going to be, we need to be able to educate our kids properly. We need to have more kids, and we got to have them educated properly. Now, this was on Jeopardy. Have you guys seen this? Have you guys seen this on Jeopardy? Check it out. This question right here. And if you can't hear it after I play it, I'll repeat it.
Parts of speech 6.
Them, theirs, themself. Chris.
What are pronouns?
Those are pronouns. Neo-pronouns.
Pronouns, a pronoun question on Jeopardy. How the mighty have fallen. Oh, is that Kent Jennings? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for asking a pronoun question on Jeopardy. One more time, if you didn't catch it.
Parts of speech 6. Them, theirs, themself. Chris.
What are pronouns?
Those are pronouns, neo-pronouns. You have 62 parts.
Neo-pronouns, the dumbest thing in the world. The dumbest thing on Jeopardy. Now, I thought it was just a meme, something on the internet, but now they're taking it dead serious. It'll only be a matter of time before you get a license plate, and then that'll be on there. Where did it even come from? Where did that come from? Who created that? Look, I'll tell you what. I'm not calling you by your pronouns because I'm just not going to do it. I'm not. And there's so many other just random made up pronouns. I've seen everything because, you know, I'm on social media. I've seen people that call themselves it, fish, duck, rocket. It's like, man, nah. No. Okay, check it out. Here's what I'll do. You have a name and you have pronouns. I'll call you by the regular he, her, she, her, whatever. He, him, she, her. You're an obvious male. You're 6'5". You look like LeBron James in the face. You got this big crazy jaw, a beard, and all that. Okay, sir. You want coffee, sugar? What's up? What we doing? You want something to drink? You want something to eat? Look, when you pull up to the McDonald's and are trying to place your order, and I hear on the other end Dennis Rodman, right in Dangerfield. When I hear what's your man's name, Michael Richards from Seinfeld, when I hear them on the other end, I'm going to say, sir, if you sound like Ving Rhames in the voice from Pulp Fiction, Baby Boy, sir, how can I help you? If I hear Fran Drescher on the other end, ma'am, how can I help you? I identify as, check it out. What's your name? Fran. All right, Fran. What's up? How can I help you? That's all I'm going to do. I have nothing else for you. I'll tell you what. If this guy, what do you do when this guy rolls up on you in your restaurant and is trying to get served? You know his pronouns are going to be all over the place, right? So I'm not going to play that game. And for real, if you come into my restaurant with a dog collar on and a mask, I'm going to kindly ask that you leave. I'm going to kindly ask that you leave, especially if I'm hearing this out of your mouth. Sir, excuse me, sir. You gotta go. Don't nobody got no time for this. You filming and everything. This might go on OnlyFans. Look, I need you to go ahead, take your dog mask and your dog collar and your French toast with no syrup on it. And by the way, is that French toast with no syrup? What am I looking at? How are you going to eat that? Look, you're doing way too much. I need you to go ahead and just go back to your car and leave the establishment. I'm calling the federal agents on you. Okay, I'm calling whoever I can get on the line. I'm gonna be like, yo, he in here and he's doing too much. And I see a wedding ring on his finger. Who is he married to? Another dog person or a cat? How does this? Do we have interspecies things going on? Yo, no, you gotta go. Then nobody got no time for that. We have no time for that. What are you seeing? Oh, you don't know? Well, there's a little thing people do where they identify as dogs or look, check it out. Check it out. Hear me very well. If you see a guy looking like this, you don't really want to research what that is. I'll put it to you that way. It's very inappropriate. It's not safe for work. If you search for this on your computer at work, you're getting fired the next day. So don't say I didn't warn you. Don't do it. Remember there was a picture of the guys in the military wearing that? Hold on. There was some guys in the military that were wearing the same thing. All right. This is on taskandpurpose.com. It's like a military site. Excuse me. And I'll just read the headline so you can understand what's going on. And again, if you search this, it's your fault. If you find something crazy, don't say I didn't warn you. It says Army investigates soldiers who posed in dog bondage masks. Okay, so that's what that is right there. Now, that looks just like what the other guy had on. All right, in his uniform, full uniform, dog bondage mask. Where are we going? What's the next step in this country? If this is the kind of person we have in the military, we got a problem. Oh, and didn't they cut the Army, the size of the Army by like 25%? I think that the Army missed their goal of recruitment by 25%, something crazy. So we're having a downsized military. If we're downsizing the military and we got guys like that in the military, that tells you we got a problem. All right. So here's something else. Now, here's some more pronouns. This person is talking about why people that are centrists are bad. You know what a centrist is, right? A centrist, this person is not really one way or the other. They just kind of do their own thing. And Cerise, she says, Cerise says, is it a dominant or sub? Hey, in that world, it probably don't even matter. It's probably just interchangeable. But I don't want to get too deep into that. Anyway, centrism. You're kind of not left, not right. You're just right in the middle. Kind of a normie. I think most normies are centrists, but this person does not think that. Now, you see what's happening here. We have an interesting hairstyle. Is that a style or just a color? I can't tell. Like, I'm not really into fashion like that. I don't know about hair. I was not blessed with a head of hair. Okay, I just got a bald head and this little beard here. So I'm seeing a lot happening. But this person's pronouns is it, pup, she, they, he. You see what I'm talking about? I'm not playing the pronoun game with you, ma'am, sir, whatever it is. I think you're a girl. I'll call you ma'am. If I'm wrong, it is what it is.
The problem with being a centrist is you have the left saying, I think trans people deserve rights and shouldn't be killed. And then you have the right saying, we want to kill trans people, we want a trans genocide. And then you're sitting in the middle there saying, both sides have really good points. I don't know, man, I'm a centrist. And that makes you just as bad.
All right, so there we have it. There we have the Billie Eilish style individual saying why being a centrist is bad, because one side wants to delete you, the other side says it's okay, which is not what's happening. Look, I don't care what you do with yourself. I ain't trying to delete you. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to call you by these ridiculous names. Okay, I might call you Billie Eilish by mistake because that's how you're trying to look right now, and that's fine. But I'm not finna do anything else that you have going on. Am I a bad person for that? I don't think so. Anyway, let's keep on going here. I think the majority of normies are centrists and they don't really mind what you do with yourself as long as they're not really involved with it, okay? Shout out to Family Guy. They used to be pretty... I've not seen them in a while. So maybe they're still like this. But this right here kind of sums up the whole LGBTQ, elemental P, X, Y, and Z stuff. Okay, check it out.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
Facts. One more time. And Family Guy, shout out to you guys for this clip. If you still are doing stuff like this, keep on rocking. Do not let them get in the way. I think I've seen Seth MacFarlane get a little woke. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But this clip right here, pure gold.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
Facts. That's pretty much what it is. Hey, you know what? I identify as transgender. I'm 6'5". I'm 55 years old, and I've been a man my whole life. I got grandkids and everything. I've been married to a woman for 15 years, 20 years. But now I identify as transgender, and I want to go into the girls' bathroom. All right, go ahead. It's no problem. Go ahead. It's all good. Oh, what's that? You have a criminal record for sexual assault? Don't worry about it. You're transgender. Do whatever you want to do. Let's keep on going. Now, I thought this was kind of funny. I thought it was funny. Some might get offended. I thought it was funny. Check it out. Now, I don't know what this is. This might be Jubilee. I have no idea what this is, but let's check it out.
Hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Nancy.
Nancy. That's my mom's name.
My dad named me after my great aunt who was a slave.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Nancy.
Nancy. That's my mom's name.
My dad named me after my great aunt who was a slave.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Like, what do you say to that? It's like, how do we go from here? Hey, nice to meet you. Here's my name. Yeah, my aunt was a slave. Oh, I'm sorry. What do you say to that? Yeah, that's pretty rough. So shout out to her. I have no idea what the context of that particular clip was. I think it might have been Jubilee, one of these shows like that. I don't really know what that was. But yeah, shout out to her for just trauma dumping one time immediately. That was kind of weird. That was all over the place. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, let's go back to education. Let me see if I have it here.
Oregon students will no longer need to be proficient in reading, writing, and math to graduate because having standards to graduate disproportionately harms students of color.
Dang. Huh. What's up?
So look, okay. Now, I've shown this before about this. It says Oregon students, hold on, one more time.
Oregon students will no longer need to be proficient in reading, writing, and math to graduate because having standards to graduate disproportionately harms students of color.
I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? So basically they're saying, hey, if you are a colored person, because that's what they're saying when they say students of color. If you are a colored, you cannot achieve the standard to graduate. So we're just going to take care of all of that. We're not going to have any standards. So if you're a colored, you can graduate with the whites. That's what they said. I mean, that's crazy. They say, oh, the South is racist. Is it really? Because when I was a kid, there was not different standards for blacks and whites or expectations. We were all given the same lesson, given the same plan, same reading. And you know what? In hood schools and black, white, whatever schools, you still had to read and do math and all these good things. That was just part of it. But now we're going back to a race-based type situation. All right, that's what's happening. And yeah, that ain't what you want. You want to be able to have one standard for everybody. If you cannot achieve the standard, then it is what it is. It is what it is, man. That's really on you. And you know what the thing about that, a lot of times, I've said it before, when you're talking about people of color in their households, there's no education before you get to school. My dad told me this. Both of my grandparents, you guys know, were teachers. Both of my dad's parents were teachers in Roanoke, Virginia. What they told me and what he told me is that a lot of black kids, we don't get the at-home learning before we go to school. We'll be 5 years old with no skills at all. We can recite all the rap songs and all that kind of stuff, but there's no books in the house. There's no education before school. But in my house, well, my mom and my dad in a trailer from West Virginia, when we first came to Virginia, in the hood, my mom would actually read to me, do flashcards, all that as a little before school. You know, and that's all you need is that before school. And back in there, you had Sesame Street. And by the way, do you know, or I heard this, and if I'm right, you guys, please give me, if I'm right, confirm it or deny it if I'm wrong. But I heard Sesame Street was developed for black kids, black and Hispanic, the coloreds. It was developed for us. I mean, look at it. You're in New York City. You got a guy in the trash talking to you. It was for us to have as an educational tool, and people used it. I used it as a kid. My mom used it as a kid, and it helped. I am a great reader. Now you got kids that have been harmed by COVID. We're going to get to that in a minute. Dr. Phil talking about COVID. You got kids of all races that have been harmed by COVID who did not have necessary development in their youth to be able to learn how to read. I mean, you got kids now that have no reading comprehension. You got kids now that can't even identify shapes. I was looking at one video where the teacher was saying that kids are having a hard time identifying what shapes are. You're talking about 13-year-olds. The teacher is trying to get into like a little bit of geometry and can't do it because you can't identify the area of a triangle if you don't know what a triangle is. 14 years old and don't know what a triangle is. Don't know what a square is. Can identify a circle. Can identify a rectangle. An octagon. I can't make the octagon shape, but you understand what I'm saying. 13 to 14 years old can't identify shapes. I mean, what in the world, man? That's crazy. When I was a little boy, we had the little shapes you put in you'd be at daycare and you would see the little the shapes you could put into the blocks. You would do that as a little boy. You got kids that are pretty much in high school that don't know what shapes are. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. The lockdown was a complete disaster. All right, I gotta show that right quick. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I got to find that particular clip right quick. Hold on. About the shapes. That was crazy. Kids can't even identify shapes. Let me see if I can find it. I gotta find it.
So basically what we're saying is nobody in this class has a understanding of shapes.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I got it. Here we go. I got it.
So basically,
this guy went viral before because he's talking about the reading comprehension was just not there. But now he's talking about they can identify shapes. All right, hold on.
Basically what we're saying is nobody in this class has a understanding of shapes. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 33. 5 out of 33 have a concept of shapes. We're talking squares, rectangles, triangles. That's all we haven't even gotten to the next. Oh my God, we haven't even got to the hard shapes yet. I haven't asked y'all to pull out a calculator. I haven't asked y'all to multiply. I haven't asked y'all to add. I haven't asked y'all to subtract. I haven't asked y'all to do anything but identify shapes. What shape is this when you cut it in half? What shape is this when you cut this in half? No. I'm just hush. Just hush. I literally have not. This is the first question where they ask y'all to calculate the area. Mind you, if you're paying attention, books with the answers right on them. This is not even a try it question. This is an example from the book.
Let's not get lost in the way he speaks. Let's focus on what he's talking about as far as the actual shapes. Because I knew it was going to be a problem. He said X. Okay, let's talk about shapes though.
And only 5 people can give me the answer out of 30-something people, out of 30-something kids. And again, nobody's asking y'all to calculate, multiply, divide, add, subtract. I asked y'all to identify shapes. And we can't get 13-year-olds to identify triangles, squares, and rectangles. This is literally the only class all day who cannot identify shapes.
That's happening right now in school. And then what would end up happening, I've shown it before, and some of these school districts will just say, okay, wait, just pass him through. Just pass him through. No, he can't read. He can't read C-Spot Run. He can't even read green eggs and ham type situation. No green eggs and ham. No identification of shapes. He's 14 years old. Pass him through. If you're that old and you can't do those things, you're pretty much toast. You might as well just try to figure out what you can do that does not require you to actually know how to read. Figure that out because you're done. Maybe you might want to go to the penitentiary, learn to read there. But anyway, Dr. Phil, let's watch this. Now, here's something else. They're talking about him being gay. The thing is, it's like, okay, who's going to be teaching these kids in these environments, inner city environments? Who's going to teach them? You want to go do it? Education and a lot of times religion has been overtaken by the LGBT because they're the ones doing it. They're the ones stepping up. They're the ones going en masse to these professions. Do you want to do it? It's going to take us, people who don't want to have people of a certain kind of community influencing our children. It'll take us to be there for them. You got to be the ones to do it. Because if not, they're going to be continuing to go. Same thing with the military. They'll be the ones that go. You got guys that are going to the military to get free sex changes. And if it's not us going out there and doing it, they'll do it. That's just what's happening. Dr. Phil, let's check it out.
COVID hits 10 years later, and the same agencies that knew that are the agencies that shut down the schools for 2 years. Who does that? Who takes away the support system for these children? Who takes them away and shuts it down? And by the way, when they shut it down, they stopped the mandated reporters from being able to see children that were being abused and sexually molested, and in fact sent them home and abandoned them to their abusers.
Now, of course, the context is about COVID and the policies. I'm glad that we are actually past COVID and we could talk freely. The same thing we've been saying the entire time. He's saying, everybody's saying, we are saying, but we've been saying it the whole time. Back in 2020, 2021, when everything was really going on, we were saying the same things that he's saying now. We were saying the same things that are now mainstream thought. We were called conspiracy theorists, tinfoil hat wearers, anti-vaxxers, anti-science. When your man Anthony Fauci, who was the biggest cringe artist of our generation, he was on TV talking about, you guys don't want to believe the science. And now we know he was wrong. Now we know he is a liar. So now we can openly discuss these things. I'm not worried about getting my channel deleted for saying what I've been saying for the past 4 years now. Okay. And by the way, Dr. Phil is getting more into kind of hard news and more conservative stuff because he has a primetime show. When he was on daytime, he couldn't do this because daytime television is more for stay-at-home moms, things of this nature. And the networks determined that this demographic wants more soft news. They don't really want the Fox News type of stuff that you would see on the primetime news show.
With no way to watch, and referrals dropped 50 to 60%. So
there was also a pandemic going on, and they were trying to save kids' lives.
Remember, we know a lot of folks who died during this. So it wasn't, people weren't laying around eating bond, but, well, you know what? We're lucky. Maybe we're lucky they didn't, because we kept them out of the places that they could be sick, because no one wanted to believe we had an issue.
Man, look, and we've been known for a long time that the kids are the ones that get sick. The kids are fine. Okay, if you are 85 years old in a nursing home and you already have congestive heart failure and diabetes, yeah, you might be at risk because you are at risk for any kind of illness, any kind of sickness that hits you. And that situation is going to be rough on you, especially a brand new thing that you're not used to. But little kids were not ever at risk. Even if you were a young adult, you were not at risk at all. You were only at risk if you were 1,000 pounds or 1,000,000 years old. Aside from that, you were not at risk. And if you were at risk, you were at risk for other things like the flu. The flu could have got you. And remember, 1 year they said the flu magically went away. It wasn't around anymore. How does the flu take a vacation? Oh, it's because everybody was inside ABL and they were wearing protective coverings. Man, please. That covering, them cloth masks didn't do a thing. Didn't do a thing.
Are you saying no school children died of COVID?
I'm saying it was the safest group. They were the less vulnerable group, and they suffered and will suffer more from the mismanagement of COVID than they will from the exposure to COVID. And that's not an opinion. That's a fact.
So, yeah, that's what's happening. And the crowd was applauding. Now, I don't know if the crowd applauded because they were given the cue, because they had to get to the next segment, get to a commercial, because right after that, they cut and went to the commercial, I suppose. But what he said was right on point. And nobody can really deny what he said. Now, you may not like Dr. Phil, and that's fine. I understand. But, I mean, if he's right, he's right. If he's right, he's right. It don't really matter if you like him or you can love him or hate him. It doesn't matter. If he's correct, he's correct. And what he said right there was all facts, big facts. All right. And here's something right here. All right.
I'm so curious. Where are all the people that were so loud about vaccination status? Where are you now? The people that supported people losing their jobs, not being able to see their loved ones in the hospital for the last time, not being able to travel, not going to a restaurant, couldn't even go into a McDonald's without showing that. Where are all those people now when 10 million people, strangers, walk across the border into our country? Why are you silent when it comes to Americans, but not complete strangers?
That's a good point. All this, you got to stay vaxxed, stay, have your PPP, have all that kind of stuff, 6 feet distance, the little stickers on the ground, all that. But then you got all these migrants coming in from all over the world. They don't even have their school vaccinations, the things that we got. They don't even have that. They come through with all kind of leprosy and smallpox and whatever. Okay, cholera. Remember, after the Haitian earthquake, they had the UN come in and they set up a base, like a building. They had a building, and they had a septic tank, and the septic tank broke and got into the water supply, and that caused a massive outbreak of cholera because you had Nepalese guys that brought cholera with them, and when the tank broke, whatever was in their stool, cholera, got into the water, and the Haitians were using that to drink and to bathe and everything. And the cholera outbreak might have been worse than the earthquake. If not, right on par with it. It was crazy. Okay, so you're going to have diseases like that enter into the country, and it's fine. But your fellow American, your next door neighbor, who you suspected of not wearing a mask all the time, you want to call the police on. It was crazy. It was hysteria. It was mass hysteria. Okay, you seen that before? I've never played that before. Tiberius. I don't know where you're coming from with that one. But nah, you're watching ABL live right now. Is it a rerun? It's funny. Nah, this is me. It's me live right now. Today is February 28th, 2024, a leap year, because tomorrow is the 29th. And by the way, you know that time is accelerating very fast. Daylight saving time ends March 10th. So not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday, we lose an hour. And by the way, whoever created daylight saving time should be waterboarded mercilessly, because I don't want to lose my hour. But when I gain that hour, I like it. I enjoy gaining the hour, but I don't enjoy losing the hour. So again, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, March 10th, we lose an hour. Daylight saving time. But the bright side is we get an hour more of sunshine. That's the good news. The bad news is we got to give up an hour to do it, at least just for that one particular night. It is what it is. All right. I don't look forward to that at all. But let's go back. We got to talk about the migrants and whatnot a little bit. Oh, there's a lot here. There's so much here that we're going to get into. All right. Check it out. I covered a story earlier today about Denver, Colorado. So Denver, they're doing layoffs, but they're not doing layoffs. Some want to call it a furlough, but I'm not quite sure it's a furlough, because I think that these are going to be permanent layoffs, but they don't want to call it a layoff. They're just reducing the hours for now. But the reason why they're reducing hours is because of the migrant crisis. And as long as the border is open, it's not going to stop. You're going to get more and more of these people. And you spending money on the migrants, that'd be where they want to go. Hey, we're getting services, we're getting things, we're getting money spent on us, we're getting cash in our pockets. So therefore, we're going to keep coming to Denver, Colorado. So Denver needs about 4.8 million right now, which is a low number. It's going to increase because right now it's cold. We got snow and all that kind of good stuff. Vehicles crashing in the snowstorms that come from Texas, don't know how to drive in the cold. You're going to have the migrants increase once you get to the summertime months. Let's watch this.
The city of Denver does not want headlines that it's laying off employees in order to pay for the migrant crisis. But the city is telling hourly employees that they may have their hours reduced to zero.
The dumbest thing in the world. Now, and some of you guys were telling me in the comments that this guy right here, his name is Kyle Clark with Next on 9 News Denver. This guy's like a big time socialist, a super stomp down stone cold liberal. And even he's saying the obvious.
Just don't call them layoffs. Here's Mark Salinger.
When we got a tip that employees at this rec center were being told they no longer had jobs, we asked the city if there were new layoffs that hadn't been announced yet. Can you confirm if this is accurate? I asked the mayor's office and Parks and Rec department. Their answer was meant to assure us that we were wrong. No layoffs, they said. However, some employees may have their hours reduced to the point where they may not receive any hours. They're not calling it layoffs, but it definitely sounds like some people may not have jobs anymore.
These direct impacts today on DMV do not involve layoffs, nor do Parks and Rec involve layoffs of our current employees. We will have folks that are hourly workers that will have fewer hours.
Now, this guy is the mayor, Mike Johnston. Mike Johnston and Eric Adams, New York City mayor, and also Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, Illinois. They're part of a alliance, I suppose, of upset Democrat mayors about the migrant crisis. At the same time, I believe these are all sanctuary places. Denver, Colorado, Chicago, Illinois, and New York, all sanctuary places. And I know for certain that Illinois as a state is a sanctuary state under J.B. Pritzker, and New York State under Kathy Hochul is a New York state. I'm not quite sure about Colorado and their governor, whoever that is. But I know Denver is sanctuary city. So you guys are inviting the migrants there, but at the same time, you want to complain about it. Well, you know, the best thing to do, the best thing to start with would be stop being a sanctuary place. That might kind of put a dent in the migration numbers coming to your city.
Employees, we will have folks that are hourly workers that will have fewer hours.
When Mayor Mike Johnston announced earlier this month that the city would cut budgets, he warned hourly employees would lose some work. Now we know they could lose all their work.
I don't want to hide the fact that this matters a lot to those people that are on the front lines.
The Parks and Rec department tells us everyone from front desk workers to coaches to lifeguards are considered on-call employees that could be impacted by these cuts. The department has been told to cut $4.3 million to help the city pay for the migrant crisis.
$4.3 million to help pay for the migrant crisis. I said it right there. Hey, we need $4.3 million. What can we do? Cut hours to zero. Basically, fire you without firing you. Okay, cut hours to zero. Why not just do a furlough? No, because it's not going to ever come back, I don't think. And they don't want to fire them outright because that'd be bad PR. They don't want the news headlines to read, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston fires city employees to pay for the migrant crisis. They don't want it to be the headline. And then it'd be a repeat headline because when it gets warm and there's no more snow on the ground in the summertime months, they're going to need more money, a lot more than the 4.9 million. So yeah, that's what's happening out there in Denver, Colorado. So shout out to the mayor, Mike Johnston. That's what's happening. And even the real super stone cold liberal dude that was the host was able to identify how that was just a crock of what at the end. He already knew what it was. He already knew that they were just trying to play games with the words. Now, here's your man, Eric Adams, at a town hall meeting in Canarsie, Brooklyn, talking about the sanctuary laws.
We the overwhelming number of migrants in the southern cities that are here, they want to work. I still don't understand why the federal government is not allowing them to work. They need to have the right to work like all of us that have come to this country had the ability to do so. But those small numbers that are committing crimes, we need to modify the sanctuary city law. And if you commit a felony, a violent act, we should be able to turn you over to ICE and have you deported. It is a...
Okay, so you're saying a lot of different things right here. You're talking about that they don't have a right to work as migrants. Well, I mean, what are we talking about, Mr. Adams? You're talking about having these so-called migrants take jobs from American citizens. Also, you're saying that the sanctuary law should be modified if they commit a violent act. They should be turned over to ICE. Because you know the way sanctuary laws work is that the local governments do not talk to ICE about the status of someone's immigration, whether they're here illegally. Like, they don't talk about that to ICE. Because if they do, and the person is here illegally, they can be deported. But now he wants to modify that for those who have committed violent acts. Again, you're beating around the bush. You're not getting to the core of the problem. The core of the problem is that you are a sanctuary place at all. you need to just totally abandon that status altogether, not just in certain circumstances, because the problem is that you're inviting the people here. You're inviting them to your city. So you're going to get a combination of everybody. You're going to get the criminals. You're going to get the normies. You're going to get everybody. And when I say criminal, I don't just mean crossing the border illegally. I'm talking about criminal as far as you're going to get actual gangbangers, people that want to stomp on police, steal things, shoot people, stab people. You're going to get those. You're going to get people that are already violent and dangerous in the mix of normies that are just breaking the law by coming over here illegally. You understand?
It's right to live in this city, and you should be not committing crimes in this city. You don't have the authority to do so.
So yeah, that's your man Eric Adams talking about what's happening over in the in the city and what should happen with the sanctuary law, trying to modify it to get a lot of the migrants out of the way. All right, now there was something that happened in Athens, Georgia. You guys know that's where University of Georgia is. It's probably about an hour or so from Atlanta to the east, going closer to South Carolina. Now, have you guys heard about Laken Riley? Laken Riley, a nursing student from UGA, and she was unfortunately killed. Let me see. So the guy who killed her, Jose Antonio Ibarra from Venezuela. All right. Now, I'm reading this right here on New York Post. They said Mr. Ibarra lived in an apartment complex about 1 mile from the wooded trail where she was found. He migrated from the U.S. from Venezuela. He was arrested by the Border Patrol for crossing the border illegally in September of 2022 and was released quickly with temporary permission to stay in the country. So let's read that one more time. The guy who wound up taking the life of a UGA student, she was how old? She was 22 years old. This guy came from Venezuela. He was arrested in September of 2022 under the Biden administration. Obviously, he was immediately released into the country with temporary permission to stay after crossing illegally. This is an illegal alien, an illegal immigrant. Okay, he crossed illegally. That's what happens. Now, check it out. It says that release or parole was a practice the administration used when officials were overwhelmed with high numbers of crossings. It ended that practice 6 months later. The only reason why he was allowed to go into the interior is because there were so many of them at that point. This is an illegal alien. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at what the mayor of Athens said about Miss Laken Riley. Okay, let's see what he says. All right, check it out.
In the main, I caution against conflating immigration and crime. The data demonstrates that the two are not connected.
Hold on, let's rewind.
In the main, I caution against conflating immigration and crime. The data demonstrates that the two are not connected.
So immigration and crime are not connected because of the data. But I just read right now on New York Post that this guy was an illegal alien from Venezuela who was arrested after he got caught crossing the border illegally. So what are you saying here, sir?
Because the impact of federal immigration policy on localities has been under such consistent discussion in recent months, I do want to say a few words about this. It's my 18th year as a local government policymaker, and my work has overlapped with 4 U.S. presidencies and numerous iterations of Congress. All of them have failed to reach agreement on how to handle immigration.
So that's the clip right there, but he's trying to say that the immigration and crime is not linked. Sir, I mean, why talk about data when you have a specific case that is being referred to? Okay, a UGA student, 22 years old, was killed by an illegal alien who came to the country illegally, crossed the border illegally, and was caught and arrested in September of 2022. So what are we saying? I don't understand. there's no need to point to data when you have a case right in front of you. You could talk about data and what it says. That's unrelated to what's happening right here with one of your, I guess you would say, constituents. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. But yeah, that was the mayor of Athens, Georgia, which is where UGA is. I mean, that's crazy. I have no words. The guy was an illegal alien. Like, and it's not a thing that can really be argued. That's what he was. And he took her life. So that's what's happening. Oh, speaking about the migrants, let's check it out. This is in Massachusetts. We got a couple things happening here. All right, hold on one second. There's an upscale, the caption says the upscale town of Seaport in Boston is turning an office building into a shelter to house illegal aliens. Residents are fuming. Now, Biden won Massachusetts by 33 points. Biden won Boston by 67 points. Let's check it out.
Tonight, some people.
All right, hold on.
Tonight, some people who live in this neighborhood voiced their anger and frustration at a community meeting with state officials about this emergency shelter that's opening its doors. Neighbors feel like they had no say in this process, and officials had no answers for them either.
Wait. Can we kindly have a little bit of decorum in the room?
No, this is my neighborhood.
Fuming neighbors who call Fort Point home grilled state officials about the 80 migrants who will call 24 Farnsworth Street a temporary home. The office space owned by the Unitarian Universalist Association will be turned into the latest overflow shelter.
How is it a done deal when you cannot answer these questions?
Safety and security, location, and facilities topping the concerns.
You said this is real. How are you going to ensure we're safe?
So we get no say as residents of the town, residents of the city, neighbors.
I would like to see a little bit more compassion. That's my point of view. Thank you.
Neighbors like Brian Curley say the community didn't have a voice before the decision was made.
I think there's a lot of angry residents here who feel the same way I do, that this was being forced on us.
General Scott Rice, who's overseeing the state's strange shelter system, vowed security for families living in the shelter and neighbors in the community.
Our track record has been very good. We've had very, very, very few incidents.
United Way is the nonprofit that will run the shelter. Neighbors voiced their concerns to them about no showers on site and a plan to bus migrants to local Ys for services. Though United Way says there will be at least 6 bathrooms in the space.
We certainly would not put anybody in a space that has anything unsafe for them.
And while some are ready to welcome shelter residents with open arms,
this is a great idea. Smart thinking. I think it should happen more often.
Some are still frustrated at the lack of information.
There was a lot of questions tonight. There were not a lot of answers.
State officials say there'll be another meeting on Friday where they hope to have more answers for the community.
So there we have it. That's out there in Boston. So you get what you vote for. You get what you vote for. You want to keep voting the same way? Okay. They keep on bringing them right there to Boston. I say bring more. We need to bring back the Martha's Vineyard tour. Let's bring that back. That was a whole big mess. That was crazy. That was a crazy mess when they brought the migrants from Martha's Vineyard. They had them out of there in 24 to 48 hours to a military base. They weren't playing no games. It's like, okay, you got to get these people out of here. And a quick correction about the UGA killing with the illegal alien. So the young lady, Miss Lakin Raleigh, she was found on the campus of UGA, but she attended Augusta University's nursing program, which had a campus in Athens. Okay. And I think she might have done undergrad at UGA. I can't really remember if I read that correctly. Yeah. So she went to UGA until spring 23, and then she enrolled in Augusta University's nursing program, and they have a campus nearby in Athens. But at the time when she was killed, she was on UGA's campus. Okay, again, by an illegal alien. Now, there's more we got to get to. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Y'all, please give me a minute. All right. Now, this guy right here, what you think about this guy right here? I'm not going to show him burning, obviously, because I'm not going to show this picture too much. I'm going to just show it briefly, and then I'll move on. So this guy right here, I forget my man's name. I'll say it in a minute. Let me make sure I'm saying this right. Aaron Bushnell, yeah. The senior U.S. airman who self-immolated, set himself on fire outside of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. What's your thoughts about him? You think that I'm seeing all kind of random stuff about this guy. And just for a brief story, Aaron Bushnell, I believe he was 25 years old, an active duty U.S. airman from San Antonio, Texas. He went to the Israeli embassy in D.C., filmed himself on Twitch, self-immolate, set himself on fire. He had a water bottle or something with some kind of accelerant in it. I guess it was gasoline or something. He poured it on his head, it covered his body, and then he set himself on fire. And as he was burning, he said he was screaming, "Free Palestine," in front of the Israeli embassy. And of course, he died as a result of his injuries. Now, what do you guys think? If you ask me, I'm thinking mental illness. Because why would you do that? I mean, it's talking about Burning Man and the Burning Monk. No, but listen, mental illness. For Palestine, people are saying, oh, he's a hero. A hero? So deleting yourself in front of deleting yourself makes you a hero? Are we getting into martyrdom? Is that what we're gonna do? I'm not buying all that. I'm not into all that. I don't think that'll make you a hero. It makes you have mental issues. And if you have mental issues, I say please seek help, because that's all that is. All right, now let's check this out. People are saying that the police killed him. Yeah. All right, RIP to the headphone users. No pun intended.
You killed that man! You killed that man! Y'all pulled your guns out instead of goddamn fire extinguishers!
Now, if you can't hear through all the screeching, she's saying that you killed that man to the police because they had guns out rather than fire extinguishers. Now, the time it took for Aaron Bushnell to spark himself up to the time where he collapsed and was pretty much done was like 1 minute. So you think they got fire extinguishers just on hand outside like that to be able just to go run up on them, put the flames out? And even if they did, by the time they could react, it had already been too late. It had already been too late. But like you get there in about a minute, maybe. It was already pretty much a wrap. He was engulfed. He was completely engulfed in flames. He was engulfed, and he had a purpose. He completely doused himself in the accelerant and just let himself go up. What do? He was a Human Torch.
You pulled your guns out instead of fire extinguishers! You pulled your guns out instead of fire extinguishers! You killed that man! You killed that man! You killed Aaron Bushnell! You did, all of you fucking pigs!
Actually, the police didn't kill him. The police didn't pour the accelerant on his head. The police didn't spark the actual fire with a lighter or a match or whatever it is. The police didn't stand there on fire screaming "Free Palestine." They told him to get on the ground. Look, my dad was a fireman, right? So I will always hear the term stop, drop, roll. Stop, drop, and roll. If you out there ever find yourself ablaze, get on the ground, roll around, put the flames out. They told him, get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground. That would have helped, extinguish the flames. What do you do with somebody who's determined to just go up in smoke like that? Getting on the ground would have been a way to help extinguish the flames. He didn't want to do it. You can't blame them for a thing that happened to somebody when that person did it to themselves. They're trying to tell you to do certain things to help the situation. You're refusing to listen. That's not their fault. All they have really is their guns on them. They don't have fire extinguishers. Okay, so what do? Joe Mama says, yes, I burned 30% of my body and stop, drop, and roll saved my life. Absolutely. That's what you do. Smother the flames. You smother the flames because fire needs oxygen to burn. Now, if you got lithium ion fire, it's a whole different story. But you just got regular fire, you suffocate it, fire needs oxygen to burn. One of the things that happens in a house fire is people die of a lack of oxygen, smoke inhalation, because the flames are using the oxygen and the smoke blocks out the oxygen. You know, so you can't breathe. That's what happens a lot of times. The fire doesn't get you in the house fire. The smoke inhalation, lack of oxygen does, because you can't breathe. All right. But that's what's happening with your man, Aaron Bushnell, out there. RIP to bro. But, you know, mental health is a real thing. And please, 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 if you ever have the inclination to set yourself on fire, to self-immolate, don't. And maybe just call somebody and have them talk to you and work your way through whatever you got going on. All right. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, we got something else here I want to show you guys. We have something else. This was a pretty interesting clip. All righty, hold on one second. Now, this is the mayor out there in Illinois, the corrupt mayor. What's her name? Tiffany Henyard. Oh, you know what? You know what's funny? I have not a video, pardon me. I have an article that I'm going to write and a video that I'm going to do tomorrow about Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom is reminding me of Tiffany Henyard. Now, Tiffany Henyard, if you don't know, she's a mayor out there in Dalton, Illinois, South Chicago suburbs. What she enjoys doing is allegedly extorting businesses locally. Okay, look, check it out. She has these little parties that double as fundraisers. And if you don't attend the party and you don't give her a generous donation at the party, then what she does is sick the police on you and shut you down, intimidate you, and she will make sure your license does not get renewed. She'll retaliate against you, okay? Now, what Gavin Newsom has done, allegedly, is give an exception to one of his friends as it relates to the whole minimum wage deal. I'm not making this up. Before we get to Tiffany Henyard, here's a headline. And I read the article already. It's crazy. So, Panera Bread is exempt from California's $20 an hour minimum wage law after owner donated to Governor Newsom's campaign. Now, here's what's happening. The new minimum wage law states that if you are a fast food type restaurant and you have more than a certain number of employees, you must pay your employees $20 an hour. Okay. Now, Pizza Hut had to fire all their delivery drivers because of this in California. They fired all their drivers because of this law. Now, Panera Bread would be up under that rule, but there's an actual exemption for Panera Bread in the law. They said if you're a place that makes bread and serves it as a single item, you're not going to be adherent to the minimum wage law. I'm not making that up. And this guy, the actual owner of Panera Bread, went to the same high school as Gavin Newsom. Now, I don't know if they were classmates or went at the same time, but they know each other. He gave quite a bit of cash to Governor Gavin Newsom. And as a result, apparently, allegedly, he's exempt from the minimum wage law. Funny how that works. You just pay money. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. And why would they need to be exempt? I thought this was a good thing, Gavin Newsom. I thought this was a great thing. It'll help the economy. Why must there be an exemption? And why is there an exemption for a place that makes bread as a singular item? That's dumb. Why does that even exist? And then they were asking him about this before. He said, oh, that's just part of the process, baby. That's just part of the process to get the bill done. I had to do it to get the bill done. It's just part of the process, baby. I ain't making that up. Hold on. Let's read some of this right quick. Then I move on. Okay, let's read some of this right quick. All right. So, and the guy's name, what's his name? Let me see. I'm gonna read this here. Greg Flynn. Greg Flynn is the billionaire CEO of Flynn Restaurant Group, the company that owns some 24 Panera Bread locations in the state. Okay. So I'm not sure if he owns Panera Bread specifically, but he owns those particular franchises in California. All right. and he went to the same high school as Gavin Newsom. He's been involved in business dealings with the California governor, according to Bloomberg News. I'm going to do a whole video on it, but basically, hey, he's been engaged in business with him, gave him some money, his high school alumni, all that good stuff. Hey, you know what, Sean? I'm thinking the same thing, because doesn't Pizza Hut sell, of course they have the bread from the actual, the pizza crust, but what about breadsticks? I'm sure they have breadsticks and pizza bites and things like that could be considered a singular bread item that's sold individually, right? That's what I would think. But the law was not created for Pizza Hut. It was for Panera Bread, because Gavin Newsom's homeboy from high school, who gave him a bunch of money and bought some businesses from him in the past, is like, hey, he's on the phone. Gavin, what we doing, man? I can't afford this. Give me an exemption in the law. Hey, no problem, friend. I got you. No problem. It's crazy, ain't it? But hey, that's politics for you. Very dirty. Now let's keep on moving here and get to Tiffany Hinyard. She's a much smaller fish. You know, Gavin dealing with a guy that has 20 Panera Bread locations. Okay, he's dealing with that kind of guy, giving him an exemption while punishing other people. And Tiffany Hinyard dealing with little Shake Shacks and juke joints and fish fries and things of this nature in this little small podunk town. Check it out. Now, since she's under federal investigation because of her charity that's kind of janky and other things going on in the city, the shakedowns and whatnot of business, she has launched a podcast at the same time. Now, if it's me, check it out. If it's me, I am not going to start a podcast while the federales are watching. This is like what your girl Fani Wilis did. Fani Wilis going to church, talking crazy. Ma'am, you allegedly were fornicating with a whole married man for years. Hear me out. The relationship started between Fani and Big Nate in 2018, maybe 2019. Let's say 2019. So 19, 20, 21, 22. At least 4 years of fornicating with a married man. But you go to church and say, oh, well, they're hating on me because I'm a black woman. I'm imperfect. Ma'am, please stop. But I digress. Here is Tiffany Hinyard and her podcast trailer. Check it out.
For Mayor Tiffany A. Hinyard, the people's mayor. So I heard you guys were looking for me. If you're looking for Tiffany Hinyard, press the subscribe button. Yes, you. Press the subscribe button. So, what you want me to talk about? This or that? This and that? Or me? Tiffany A. Hinyard. You pick. Put your questions in the comments, and I'm going to answer all questions. Just be respectful. If you disrespectful, I'm not going to answer it. Because remember, I got the tea with the receipts. Matter of fact, if you want the tea, get it from me.
So that's Tiffany Hinyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, who is under federal investigation for some corruption that she is allegedly involved in, starting a podcast. Now, if narcissist, if self-absorbed was a person, it'd be right here, right over here. It's like, ma'am, what are you thinking about? You're being accused of stealing money from the city, going on lavish trips, vacations, all kind of stuff, going to Atlanta. And, you know, she went to certain spots in Atlanta I know about. She went to this restaurant. I forget what it was called, but I saw it. I've been there. It's expensive. And it's so expensive that when I went there, I was like, wow, I wouldn't stay in here because the restaurant was expensive and so was the actual hotel it was in. Like, comically expensive. I went there just one time only, just because I say I did it. But I would never stay there. The hotel, $400 a night, $500 a night, easy. And don't let it be an event. Don't let it be a football game in town, basketball game in town. Forget about it. $1,000 a night. Ain't no way. Just on principle, I would never spend that much money in the hotel room. On principle, I would never spend more than $300 in the hotel room. If I spend that much in the hotel room, I got to be desperate. I got to be getting ready to fall asleep behind the wheel. It's like, man, I got to stop somewhere and get some sleep. I'd rather would sleep in my truck. Look, if I had my truck and I'm on the road, I would sleep in my truck before I got a hotel room for that much money. I ain't no way. check it out. I sleep in my truck and then go to a YMCA and wash my hind parts in the morning. But anyway, we got a video about Fani right quick that I want to show because this is pretty important. Megyn Kelly got some exclusive details on some text messages. Now, remember, let's talk about this. What was this? Fani. Who was I talking about? The guy. Matter of fact, hold on. I ain't gonna try to explain it because this is kind of complicated a little bit. Terrence. What's the man's name? Terrence Bradley. Yeah, Terrence Bradley. Shout out to the lead attorney. Lead attorney got 12,000 watching right now about that. Shout out to you, sir. But there's text messages that have been revealed. Now, remember, I was talking about the text messages that they would not be revealed because a lot of that's protected. You don't really have access to it. You know that there was some texting going on, but you don't really know what it was. Oh, these are not texts between Fani and Big Nate. I really want to see those. But these are texts between Terrence Bradley and the attorney for Michael Roman, one of Trump's co-defendants. What's her name? Ashley? I know what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and just play the clip because I ain't trying to, explain it too much. Megyn Kelly, shout out to you. You're the GOAT for this one. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick because this is very, very important. Very, 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 very important.
We have gotten our hands on the texts.
All right. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because she talks about stuff a lot before she actually gets to it. Okay. So these are the texts between Terrence Bradley and Michael Roman's lawyer. I think her name is Ashley. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Ashley Merchant. There we go. Ashley Merchant. Now, Terrence Bradley is or was Nathan Wade's law partner, which means he is a lawyer. Terrence Bradley also doubled as Nathan Wade's divorce attorney. Terrence Bradley was texting Ashley Merchant for weeks, allegedly, about Nathan Wade. He was pretty much snitching on Nathan Wade, his former friend or former partner. Now, he was part of the firm until there were some allegations against him, some sexual harassment, sexual assault, and then Terrence Bradley was kicked out of Nathan Wade's law firm. This could be revenge, trying to get back at him, telling on him about him and Fani Wilis. In the text, he's saying that they were together long before 21, probably 2019. But then when he gets to court, he changes the tune, talking about, I don't know, and I can't recall, all kind of stuff. Now, here are the texts right here. Ashley Merchant in the green, Terrence in the white or the gray. She says, just date him. Don't hire him. Do you think it started before she hired him? He responds, absolutely. It started when she left the DA's office and was judge in South Fulton. They met at the municipal court CLE conference. And she says, that's what I figured when he was married. And then there's more we'll get to in a minute. Let me see if I can just skip ahead a little bit. And let's not have that mess up. There we go. And then she is texting him what she's going to put in her documents. She's texting the exact wording for the document. Okay. Now she says, is this accurate? Upon information and belief, Willis and Wade met while both serving as magistrate judges and began a romantic relationship at that time. And he corrects her. No, municipal court, not magistrates, municipal court. She says, thank you. She corrects this and then presents that to the court. So she's asking him for the specific verbiage to put in her filing. And she does it. So then when she gets to court and she's asking him on the stand about this, oh, I don't recall, I don't know, I forgot, all this, that, and the third. You understand? That's what's happening with your man, Terrence Bradley. Now there's more. And He's saying, yo, add me to the footnote because they gotta know how much I made. Because remember, he was on the case with Nathan. He was getting paid, Nate was getting paid. And the reason why he was on the case, again, involving Donald Trump, Michael Roman, many others, the reason why he was on the case is because Nate and Fani were fornicating. So I was like, hey, I'm going to bring you on and your friend on to the case. And you guys are both going to get paid. Okay, so that's that. Now, that's all I have right now as far as the text messages are concerned. But this guy was a mess in court. Look at this. Hold on, let me see if I can go back a little bit. This video is kind of lagging a little bit for some reason. I think everybody's kind of on it right now.
Word, speculation.
When you told me that their relationship started when she left the DA's office and was a judge in South Fulton, where did you obtain that knowledge from?
Now, remember, the woman talking is the lawyer that he was texting, and that's him. That's Terrence Bradley. The woman talking is Ashley Merchant. She's asking him about what I just showed you, the text message. Hey, you texted me this. Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that knowledge from? And look at him try to respond and hear what he says. Hello?
I was speculating.
Speculating? Huh? Speculating? If I ask you a direct question, why would you speculate? Hey, when did they meet? They met at this conference and they met this day. And then when you go to court, you say, hey, where'd you get that from? I was speculating. Now, this guy, remember, let's keep it clear. He's a lawyer. He is a practicing lawyer. He was Nathan Wade's divorce attorney. He was on the case involving the president of the USA, President Donald Trump. He was on that case getting paid in Fulton County. But now you're speculating about a direct question with a lawyer, and you know she's a lawyer? I mean, come on. She texted you the exact verbiage to go on in the filing, and she's asking you to proofread it. And you proofread it. You said, no, change that. Now you in court. I don't know. This case, listen, he's done. Fani's done. And Big Nate, they're all done. They need to all get disbarred at best. And at worst, penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. And this case is done. There's a hearing happening on Friday about whether Fani will be disqualified or not. The evidence that I've seen so far, you have to disqualify her from the case. You got to. And again, if she is removed from the case, then the entire Fulton County DA's office will be off the case. If the DA is off the case, the entire office is. So they got to move the case somewhere else. Clayton County, they already said we're not going to do it. We can't. There's not enough. We don't have the capacity for this case. So that leaves other neighboring counties. You're talking about Cobb, DeKalb. Good luck with that. Good luck with Cobb County taking. Good luck with Cobb County taking this case. That's where the Braves play. Good luck with that. The Braves moved from Atlanta to Cobb. Good luck with that. DeKalb, good luck with that. Where are you going to go? Henry County, they got about $2. Good luck with that.
I didn't have a
Hello, sir.
No one told me I was speculating.
No one told you that?
No one told me that.
Was this speculation when you told me that? Was that based on things that had been told to you and things that you had witnessed?
I never witnessed anything. So, it was speculation. I can't tell you anything specific.
Is there anywhere in here that indicates that you didn't have knowledge of
No.
knowledge? These speaking objections are clearly coaching the witness. When I ask a question,
Now remember, okay, they're in court. You have Terrence Bradley right here, Nathan Wade's former law partner. Nathan Wade's right there in the front row looking dead at him. Like they're making eye contact. Nate's lawyers are right there, right in front of Terrence Bradley, looking dead at him. This is crazy. This is really just a mess. The whole thing is a mess. I mean, there's no way there's no way this case can go forward with all this rigmarole happening in the background. It's impossible. I don't see a pathway forward for the case. If this is all happening, and then understand this, the DA brought the case. She brought the case. So if she is removed, and then you got her fornicating with the prosecutor, and then the prosecutor's partner got some sexual harassment allegations, and he's halfway telling, it's too much nonsense happening. It's bogus. It's frivolous. And then you might have some kind of kickbacks going on. The prosecutor taking the DA out to expensive lunches and hunching on her in the back room. Man, look, nobody got no time for that. Nobody has time for that. No hablo inglés, Your Honor. Yeah, no hablo inglés. Basically, he might as well say that. He might as well say no hablo inglés, por favor. Yeah. And it would have brought up a translator immediately, and he would have had to talk still. Anyway, so that's what's happening. Shout out to Terrence Bradley. Shout out to Nathan Wade, Fani Willis. They're toast. Again, we're going to find out on Friday. And I'll be watching it on Friday. I'll probably do a video on Saturday or late that day on Friday to kind of recap. Probably Saturday to kind of recap what happened on Friday. So we're going to see. We're going to see if Fani gets removed from the case. I'm not sure if we're going to find out on Friday. Maybe it's going to be taking a while, but at least it'll start on Friday. All right. But if you like what you heard, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 434-658-1220. That kind of Michael Critchlow who says, Wallet Hub recently ranked Virginia Beach the 4th hardest working city in America. Norfolk was number 6. Thoughts? Yeah, I would probably say so. I mean, we work pretty hard. You know, I go pretty hard. And, you know, it's just kind of normal to me. When I go to other parts of the country, it's not quite that same way. So maybe they got a point there. Thank you to CK Allen for your donation. Thank you to Tucker Licious who says, in the movie Team America World Police, Kim Jong-il's plan was to turn every country into a third world country. Hold up. There you go. They're kind of onto something. Thank you to Fiction who says his pronouns are wolf. Thank you to Concert LD who says, has to be mental illness. No normal person could stand at attention screaming free Palestine, getting burnt hurts really bad. Exactly. Yeah. The guy self-immolated, and he was standing at attention, upright, screaming free Palestine over and over again. And he was very coherent in his speech. You heard him very well. No stuttering or stammering. Free Palestine directly. Shout out to Santo Bartez who says the Bushnell situation has multiple levels of concern. If the left is willing to do that as a protest, quote unquote, what will the next left cult member escalate to? Nothing 1995 OKC Murrah building type event. Hey man, they already been kind of doing stuff. We seen Antifa. We already know, but they might do some kind of crazy out of this world type of thing. Shout out to Kelly K who says Hingyard started a Spotify pod because there are no comments. There, yeah, exactly. Shout out to Boomhauer who says Nathan Wade and Fani Willis going to need Megan Good to come up to court to help save them from this one. They in this one deep. It's a wrap. For real. Boomhauer, they are toast. If toast was a person, it'd be Big Nate, Fani, and Terrence Bradley. For sure. For sure. Now, somebody says Fani survives, but Nate and Terrence, no. I don't know how Fani survives, but they don't. And what do you mean by survives? Like going to the penitentiary? There's no way that they go down and she doesn't, because she is the head of the organization. If you guys ever seen Griselda on Netflix, she's the head of the organization. So if she goes down, everybody goes down. And by the way, if you have seen Griselda, you got to watch Cocaine Cowboys Part 1 and 2. I know a lot of you young guys may not have seen that. Those came out in 2006 and 2008, respectively. When they came out, I remember that being promoted on the internet. That's like right around the Zeitgeist time. Those are really big pop documentaries back then when I was like in my early 20s, mid 20s watching those. So if you were born in like 2000 or something, or in the 90s, you got to go back and watch Cocaine Cowboys Part 1 and 2 on Netflix if you've seen Griselda and you want the full story. Okay, hold on. You got to get the full story because I'm going to show you a picture. And I wasn't offended, but I was like, okay, it's funny how they didn't show this on Netflix on Griselda, because these pictures were pretty important. Hold on. These are pretty important pictures to show if you want to talk about Griselda Blanco, all right? You got to show that right there. Who's a black guy, ABL? You got to watch Cocaine Cowboys too. That is Griselda Blanco, and that guy, you got to watch the documentary to find out. They did not show that in Griselda, did they? Oh, but this is a very important part of the story. Very, very, very important part of the story. Okay? And it was crazy because they show at the end Rivy with the secretary, but once you see the documentary, it'll bring it all home. It'll bring it all home. All right? So, yeah. Shout out to you, Griselda. Nah, not you. Shout out to the real Griselda in the chat. The other Griselda, that's a Netflix show, okay? But you're the real Griselda, so shout out to you. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. We got super chats. Did I get everything I wanted to get to? Shout out to Bobcat MIT, who says, nothing against ORF or Virginia Beach, but Chesapeake number 1. Yeah, shout out to Chesapeake for sure. All right, let's keep on rocking. Let's go to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description. Also, it should be in a ticker at a certain point right below me, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype in the description box. If it doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man. You know it ain't my fault. Hey, I cannot tell you who that is. You got to watch the documentary. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it for you because the documentary is crazy. It is totally crazy. All righty. Let's keep on rocking here. And let me see. I'm reading some of your comments. Yeah, that whole, the first Cocaine Cowboys tells you the precursor to Miami, and the Cocaine Cowboys 2 goes to California. Very, very good. All right, yeah. If you're drunk, if you're real drunk, man, just relax, man. Don't even do too much. Just relax. All right, let me restart my Skype. I know something's wrong with it. It happens every now and again. Here we go. Hopefully my Skype is good. If you're trying to call, let me know if it's not going through because, here we go. Yeah, I figured they want to do something. An update right now is crazy. Can I please get the automatic updates? That'd be great. That would be fantastic. Oh my goodness. Okay. Can we just, all right. You know, Microsoft with these products, man. Y'all gotta give me a minute to sign in right quick because they're trying to, I'm doing a lot. I am doing a whole lot here. I gotta sign in and all kind of extra stuff. Y'all give me a minute. Okay. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Now, we ain't going to shut down. We ain't doing that. No. We are not doing that at all. We are going to keep moving. We will keep on rocking and rolling in the free world. All right, hold on. All right, there we go. We back. We are back. All right, y'all can try again. I think we're good now. All right, man. Who am I speaking to?
James, Tokyo.
All right.
How are you?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Oh, not much. The whole world's burning. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a lot happening.
Yes, it is. You were talking about Fani's court case and stuff. I'm not entirely sure that she isn't. They seem to be all bought off. You know what I mean?
When you say they, who do you mean?
Everybody who's up there. Okay, so the one guy's he's chatting with the lawyer, and then she comes back later and says, "Why'd you change your testimony?" Sounds like you got bought off, or somebody threatened him, maybe.
I agree.
So
because something changed. I think he was motivated at first to speak out against Nathan, but then it was like, hey, look, I know there's a little issue, but let's let bygones be bygones. Here's a bag of money. That should pretty much solve bag of money. That'll solve all the problems right there.
Yeah, a bag of money or a getaway at some vacation where she pays for it.
Right.
Who knows? Hey, I wanted to ask, did you see Matt Taibbi's, I know this is kind of off subject, but did you see Matt Taibbi's recent piece that they came out with?
No.
Okay, so it's kind of long. I don't know if you guys, anybody on the chat knows Chris Reagan. He does the YouTube show Mr. Reagan. So yeah, he does a pretty good breakdown of it, but he includes Tucker Carlson's interview with Mike Benz, and that is fantastic. Like, if you haven't seen that, that's some serious stuff. And the whole reason I bring this up is because I'm wondering if when you see that, he's like the CIA and the Obama administration goes through and they try to blackmail Hillary. Then they stop doing that as soon as they get Hillary on board some other way. And it boils down to essentially Hillary actually sees what she thinks is real stuff coming from the FBI and the CIA against Trump. And I wonder if Joy Reid isn't seeing this, if everybody that we see, like who's so vehement, Fani Wilis included, against Trump, if they haven't seen stuff from the FBI and CIA, and they really think that Trump is bad. Of course, we know now it's all fabricated, but you watch, I think Mr. Reagan's breakdown of Matt Taibbi's article is probably the quickest way to go, and it's still like 50 minutes, but it's nuts.
I mean,
yeah, it's Benz. Yeah. B-E-N-Z. Go to, you can look up Mike Benz and check out I was reading the chats. Check out his webpage. It's crazy, dude. You haven't heard anything about this?
I've not. It's my first time hearing about it. Highly
recommend. That'll waste your time tomorrow morning for sure. While you're eating grits, and it's like that's my morning. I'm just sitting there eating, listening to this dude, and like my daughter's like, "Dad, why's your mouth hanging open?" I'm like, yeah, it was nuts. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, that's that.
Right on, man.
I just wanted to see. Yeah, I just wanted to see if you'd heard about it. Okay, I'll let you go. I'm sure you got a lot of calls on deck.
Thank you for the call, man.
When you read that and you find out about it, post it. I'd love to hear your comments. So.
Oh, definitely. I'll check it out for sure.
Yep. All right, man. Peace.
All right. Yeah, I gotta check it out, man. I gotta, some things I don't come across everything, so I gotta check it out for sure. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Oh, I almost forgot to talk about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, I think I said that earlier in the beginning, that he has announced he's going to step down from the Senate Minority Leader, whatever he is. 669, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Steph in Silicon Valley.
All righty, what's going on?
I'm calling to share my story of deliverance from 50 years of bondage to every substance known to man. I've been delivered. And I didn't ask for it. I just woke up one morning and it was all gone. Done. And it's beautiful. It's a miracle. And I was moved to call you because someone out there may need to hear this.
Okay.
And yeah, and I have used what I'm hearing in my ear is on a lag from what I'm hearing on your show.
Yeah, you got to turn the stream off in the background for me, please.
Turn it off. Okay. There. Oops, wait. There. Okay. So I've been delivered just like that, instantaneously, and absolute, and it sticks. It's done, and I was moved by the Spirit to call you because someone out there who's lost hope and given up on themselves and on ever being delivered, that dude, half a century, 50 years, just like that, gone with no there's no like detox or physical pain or temptation or cravings or anything. It's just gone. And someone out there has given up on themselves or someone they love because they believe they're worthless, they're hopeless, and there's no hope for them. But deliverance is real, and it's instantaneous, and it's freely given, and all glory to the Father. That's all. Someone needs to hear that. And so, I don't know. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. You enjoy. I appreciate you too. And thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Shout out to her. You know, you're free from all the drugs and all that. Shout out to her. 859 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
It's all
Just enjoying myself, listening to your show, play some GTA with my friends, doing some 420, my friend. So how's it going, ABL?
It's all good, man. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Oh man, I've been doing that 1 meal a day thing you told me about.
Yes.
And it's working out, but oh my God, ABL, it's a struggle. Whew. You know. Yeah. And I've been doing more research into it. I mean, it's 1 meal a day, but after like a 10 period, a 10 hour or 9 hour or 10 hour spree, it's good to eat a little snack in between. But I'm still doing more research into it and stuff like that. Do you, I mean, with your Uncle ABL channel, I was wondering about that. Have you thought about doing, I know you're doing mostly like dating advice, women's relationships and stuff like that. I'd be interested in hearing about like diet tips and stuff like that, you know?
I will do that on the channel eventually. So, but let me ask you a question. You say you eat like 1 meal and a snack. What is your snack? Okay, so what is your meal and what is your snack?
My meal is usually like steak and eggs or chicken or broccoli, sometimes rice. I toast with honey and then a protein shake is my lunch. My first meal. My snack, cereal. Like it's a protein cereal. The I think Magic Spoon, maybe, or just celery or Greek yogurt.
So okay, so you have cereal and yogurt or did I hear that wrong?
No, that's like I might get Greek yogurt one day, and the next day might be like this like peanut butter and celery.
Oh, okay. I mean that's okay. That's like a meal and a half. So when you really go hard, you could do that 1 meal, and then your body would get used to it just to be hungry on that one time of the day. So have you seen any results? Like how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for about a week, and it's hard, but I've noticed I've been losing a lot more weight than my usual my participation. So I went from like I said, like 240 last time I think I talked to you, to now like I'm like 231, various 231, 230, 232. So it's doing some good progress. I appreciate the tip that you advised to me. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem, man. And how do you feel? Do you feel energetic? Like, how do you feel?
I mean, I feel more active. I feel like waking up. It's in the morning time, it's not bad. If I do my workout every morning, it's usually I feel a whole lot more better. If I skip my workout, I just feel more sluggish. So it's not really much of a change, but I've noticed I'm losing more weight, but I'm also waking up more faster than usual.
Very good. Good to hear it.
So some good progress into it. And also, I mean, I want to talk about the guy who lit himself on fire. I think it was like a monk, I think back in 1963, I think it was protesting against the Vietnam War and like South Vietnam, did the exact same thing. You know, kind of like a bit of a sick part of it. This wokeism, it's just like you know, just like Jim Jones with the red Kool-Aid. They're just willing to take it, sadly.
Right.
But hey, man, I appreciate you taking my call, man. And hey, thank you for the advice. And I'm enjoying the show, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, Luciferian Libertarian out. And oh yeah, on the live chat, hey, do 420 if you're doing the same thing. Hoorah. See you guys later. Bye.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. And shout out to my man for losing weight and all that good stuff, man. Yeah, that's always good to hear. You following my advice and having some success. 424, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? All right, maybe I just didn't push the button. That's my fault. 504, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. So, very good callers, a good show. And my plants start to sprout.
So your plants start to sprout?
Yes, in my garden.
Okay, well, hey, congrats on that.
Thank you. Also, I had a good weekend at the Vietnamese restaurant, and I saw the Wonka movie yesterday, so I had a good time. And also, I like the topics, and the trial you showed, I saw a lot of it live, and basically, yeah, she was very condescending, and she was acting very woke, and the whole time he was like very slow to answer questions, and he was like seemed very confused and deep thought. He just couldn't say anything like what you showed. That's pretty much what happened the whole time.
Yeah, it's pretty concerning.
Yeah, and you know, because it just basically shows on the left about how shady they are, and like these affairs and things that they have, and then you know it gets exposed in the light. What's done in darkness is brought into the light. And we could see the character of these people, just like with Fauci and the other ones. No one's perfect, but I like how over time it was revealed of the crookedness of these people.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's always good to just, you know, understand the reality, just to get to truth. That's the most important thing, the truth of the matter.
Exactly. And also, I think that with these people, it's very clever what they're doing over in Denver, how they're saying about how the people were like, they're going to be let go, but they're not saying they're being let go. They're just saying that they're going to have hours off. They can't just like directly say what is actually going on.
Yeah, because it's bad PR. Because if they say, well, we're firing people because of the migrants, we got to pay for them. It's like, okay, well, you're putting the illegal aliens ahead of tax-paying citizens, so that's not a good thing at all. That'd be terrible PR for the city and the state.
Exactly. And also, they always care about their image, and they have their fan base, so they have, you know, the media and stuff that they influence, and the other YouTubers that are on the left that also spew their narratives around. They want them to grab on that bait, and then the gullible sheeple will think that that is the right way to go. But that really, we look into the fine print and see that they're really up to something else. And it does seem, as we've been talking about the immigration throughout this time, that it's like a modern day slavery like they had back in the 1800s, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. And also another thing is that these people, the liberals, I think that they're starting to see, they're waking up about the inflation, things like that. And I do think it's interesting how they always are against Trump, but during Trump's time, there is no wars going on like there are now.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, people, that's an obvious thing that's going on. It's pretty clear what's happening. Some people recognize it and some act like it's not really a thing.
Right. And yeah, I think it's crazy that person went and burned themselves. That is what happened during the Vietnam War, during the protest. The monk set himself on fire.
Right. Absolutely. I've seen a lot of pictures and video. I think I saw a picture of that, actually.
Yeah. I think there was a video of it. but like it was like on the History Channel or something. But yeah, it's a lot of it is pictures.
Yeah.
And also basically saying what I said before is that I think it's good that like he kept us out of conflicts, because it seems like they always say that our side gets in a war, but it seems like they're the ones now that at least that are putting us in a bunch of conflicts everywhere.
Well, absolutely, 100% correct.
Right. And also, I want to say, we were talking some time ago about those alien mummies. You remember that?
I remember a little bit. Sort of, yes.
Okay. So I was looking into it, and it does seem, yes, they've done tests on them, and they were hoaxes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That was in like Central America somewhere where they had those little small.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Okay. That's unfortunate. I was kind of looking forward to that really being something serious, but I of course it's a hoax. I'm not really surprised.
Right. And also because they were saying that they did carbon date it and it was 700 years old, and like you hypothetically could say they're trying to cover up stuff, but I'm going to go with the narrative that this specific one was fake, but doesn't mean there's like other evidence of other things that does point to the ETs being real. But this specific one it seems like it's a fake.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for taking my call, ABL. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. All right, Scott caller, who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. It's Danny. How you doing, mate?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Yeah, great, mate. Thanks for taking my call. Great show tonight, mate.
No problem.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about, obviously, that man who obviously committed suicide and lit himself on fire. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's clearly the man was suicidal in it and just wanted to go out of a bang, right? I mean, no normal person does that. I mean, it's kind of like virtual signaling, but gone too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I just think if you really care about Palestine and just get on a plane and go over there and help out. I mean, but I just think in this case the man had obviously severe mental health problems and was obviously going to commit suicide and just wanted to go out in a bang and yeah, one of your callers before talking about there was a monk who did that before. I was thinking the same thing. Wasn't that that band's the Rage Against the Machine? Didn't they have that as their album cover?
I don't know, but you probably are correct, but I can't really remember right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw that story. That's how my mind works. I was thinking, well, at least Rage Against the Machine has a new album cover now.
Oh, yeah, actually, you're right about that. So I think this might be their first album. Yeah, the first album that came out, 1992, that was the cover. Yep.
So it was like I'm not too sure why, but it was like a monk, right? Just protesting something, I guess, and just killed himself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I first thought of. I was like, well, yeah, if they come out with a new album, at least they got a new cover for it, which is I know it's a bit too soon, but yeah, and I see some people in the chat as well talking about Trump. What was it in Illinois, or that they've removed him from the ballot? Is it or?
Yeah, something happened in Illinois where he was removed from the ballot. I think it's a radical person that did that, but that's just going to be some more court action because it's not going to hold because they've already said you can't do that. It's just, I don't know. These people are so weird. I think this is all happening because they just want to keep Trump involved in court action.
Yeah, like I think one of the people in chat said something about because the judge said that because it was to do with the so-called Jan 6 insurrection, and you're like, wasn't he found not guilty for that? Didn't they already take him to court already about this whole Jan 6 insurrection, and there was no evidence to suggest that he was responsible for it? So it's like, how can you use that as an excuse? Or
they'll say anything. They'll throw anything at the wall and see what sticks. That's what's happening right now. And if nothing sticks, then they can say they tried. That's pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah, like that caller from Japan when he was talking about like how these people just kind of bought off and I mean, I agree. They're almost just like hired assassins. Like, but obviously extremely bad ones. I mean, they're just like hired assassins. They're just, the Democratic Party is hiring all these people just to fling poo at Trump, as you said, like just to keep him in court, keep wasting his time, wasting his physical energy, his mental health, his mental energy. And it's like but Trump still has probably more. Well, I've already seen him at more events than Biden has this, this whole year. I mean, it's and look what Trump has to go through.
Right.
But he still turns up at all these conferences and rallies and still has like hour-long speeches. And it's like, wow, what is this thing that this man has to go through? But still obviously wanting to finish off his last term. And ABL, sorry, just before I go, I was watching some up-and-coming movie trailers recently, and I come across this movie that's coming out called Civil War. I don't know if you've seen it.
You said what now? Civil War?
Yeah. The movie is a movie coming out called Civil War, and it's like just was curious to see your thoughts on it, really, about what, because it's obviously it's in today's time. It's called Civil War, and I'm not too sure kind of what the movie's about and like what they're taking is it on. But I was just curious to see your thoughts on it.
I've not seen the trailer or anything, so I don't know anything about it.
Oh, okay. Oh, no worries, mate. Yeah, I just wanted to find it interesting. It's very coincidental, and making a movie right now in Hollywood called Civil War. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they always do stuff like that. They had the what was that, the Avengers or whatever that was, Marvel movie, Civil War. I don't even really keep up with a lot of this stuff. They always do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're probably going to end up blaming MAGA supporters in the movie, aren't they? Typical.
Right, of course.
All right, man. Well, thanks again for taking my call, mate. Great show. Shout out to chat. Appreciate it, mate. Take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, see you, mate. Bye. Bye.
All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to 424. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. I finally got through. This is Kelly Silverman from Los Angeles.
All right, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, shout out to my folks in the chat. They kept encouraging me to call. And ABL, I wanted to give you some encouragement and just, as always, tell you thank you for covering what's going on here in California with Gavin Newsom and all that's going on with us. You cover everything, but I really love that you cover California a lot because we do have a lot going on. And you know what I'm saying? And the second thing I wanted to say, ABL, is that outside of Trump, I'm thankful that people are beginning to wake up. And I think what woke them up the most is the migrant situation. How we have so many people over here, our healthcare systems are overloaded, and people are starting to wake up. So when you post those videos and those clips of people saying like, nah, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like how they coming over here doing this, doing that. I'll be thinking to myself, that closed border is looking real good right about now. What you think?
It looks very good right now because there's too much going on at the moment.
Yeah, it is. And so even when there's certain liberal platforms on social media that a lot of young liberals follow, but when they post something about Trump, I go into the comments and I even see the liberals saying like, nah, I think I'm gonna vote the other way because I'm getting sick of Biden. I'm getting sick of this. I'm getting sick of that. I'll be like, I'm thanking y'all for the wake up. So, it's just like people are waking up. And then Biden, and once again, they're rolling out that thing with the student loan thing. That's like a last-ditch effort. We're going to pay off your loans. I'll be in the comments like, if y'all fall for that again, y'all just stupid.
Exactly, because it did it the first time, and then they bought into it, and it didn't happen. So it was like, okay, you fall for it again, that's on you. The first time, what they say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Exactly, ABL. So much love from Los Angeles. I always share your stuff. I'm always in the comments, and I really appreciate your work. And we all stand together because as we get closer to November, it's going to get crazier and crazier. So we got to stand together.
Right on. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Great call. Shout out to her. Fantastic call. Yeah, you out there in California, I feel for you guys. Belly of the beast. I can't do it. Yeah, California, hey, I come through, visit maybe if I got a safe space, but beyond that, man, let me just be over here on the east side of things in the country part. That's what I'm really into. Yeah. But shout out to you guys out there, you know, hanging in there. I feel for you. 254, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, California.
Hey, good evening, ABL. How are you doing tonight?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
Not too bad. It's been a minute since I've been able to call in, though. Kind of been away for a little bit of some time, so I don't really have the time to be able to call in as much. I do want to sit there and say, though, I see that you, too, are a man of culture with those Audio-Technica headphones that you have going on.
Yes, indeed.
But I'm over here back in I'm over here back in Texas, enjoying some time with the family and stuff like that. Good weather, good cold front coming in, so be able to enjoy that cold while I can. Just came back off of deployment, so coming back out here, be able to catch up on your videos. Fortunately, I was able to watch some of the stuff you got and be able to call in, seeing some of the stuff you got talking about right here. Anywho, hop on some of the chats that you got going on. Caught some of that Oakland video clip right there, honestly, because I lived in San Diego there for a little bit, some time. I got to see what California was like out there, and honestly, that's how it was growing out there. You got to be able to see like tent cities, some of the crack stuff going on right there. Homelessness was just getting rampant. That's further more and more that you go in some of the bigger cities that you got out there in San Diego area, where there used to be an instructor out there. I used to show pictures, some of my students from the deployment areas I got to go to. And it was funny how I showed them Djibouti, Africa, and some of the areas that I had out there. And they're just like, yo, that looks like downtown San Diego. I was like, yeah, it's pretty depressing how out here in the Blue Coast area that you can sit there and see what it looks like and can compare it to some of these third world countries that you get to go to, especially if you're, you know, working in a military service and you can see some of these areas and compare it to the United States. It's kind of sad that they're able to sit there and see that, you know, hey, this is what we got going on. And this is what a country that's, you know, considered, you know, best of the best. People want to come here and live and change their lifestyles around. And you see something like that happening in, you know, in your own home country. It's pretty depressing right there. One of the other clips I was able to catch you on earlier was that China housing developments they have going on, building those mass complexes that they're doing at, you know, a higher level and efficiency. Don't get me wrong, it is built pretty efficiently. You'd be able to sit there and stack and create a mass amount of housing for themselves. I don't know if you ever able to like dig around some of the interwebs for a little bit, but you can also see too where there was issues a few years back where some of these housing complexes that they were building were just collapsing underneath themselves. Don't get me wrong, we understand Wish.com comes from China, but that doesn't mean you got to build your houses out there with your own materials, right? Some of the there's videos that like been leaking around the internet, construction sites that like that, showing that like, yeah, China, you know, consider to build these houses at a mass quantities, but the materials that they're using, you know, are not stable. There's a video of a construction worker grabbing bricks out of the wall. He's just breaking them with his own hand compared to what we have over here. And it's pretty sad because you see some of the propaganda that gets promoted over here in Western society, especially in the U.S. You'll sit there and see Wall Street Journal a few years back. You had an article talking about how China sat and developed a neighborhood with 12 new apartment complexes, sky rises built up to like 15 stories. But they also forget to mention, you know, how many of those apartment complexes actually stayed up and operated properly, or they're able to sit there, withstand themselves and collapse within themselves. It's pretty sad when you sit there and see the guys sitting over promoting the video, but the Live Leak logo starts popping up on their own news feeds, right? Bad thing that I also want to talk about too is another one, sad one. I got to go to Japan for like about 3 weeks on my last deployment, though, in and out of the port periods. And we're talking about some of the American education system right there. And I've talked about it before in your streams beforehand in the past, and I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again right here. You sit there and talk about the American education system. It's a sad decline that we're kind of seeing that's taking place right here. We need to start investing in dirt use. We need to start investing into, you know, the reading, writing, science, math, arithmetic. Be able to sit there and grow our education system from a early on youth. So we're talking about, you know, HDTV people, or, you know, all these other, you know, pseudosciences that we talked about on the liberal side of the house. That doesn't really grow us on that. And when I was out there for just like those few weeks in Japan, some of the people I sat there and talked with, you know, you sit there and they even too see, you know, the Western society compared to what their society is out there for education system. It is still discipline that you have at an early on age, the pride of what you have within your own nation. You know, we're kind of deteriorating that from ourselves right here. And when you sit there and see, you know, what happens in Oregon, and we saw this in Baltimore, you even talked about that before in your past streams. We talk about, you know, how our education system's declining. We got people that are graduating from a high school level with a third grade reading level. That's embarrassing. We shouldn't be doing that at a global level. We shouldn't be doing that as a country that's considered one of the best, or where people want to flock to sit there and come to our country to sit there and say, hey, you know, we want to sit here and, become here, American citizens. We want to sit here and grow. We want to sit here and take the opportunity to what this nation can actually provide for us. So I hope that we can sit over there and actually increase our education standards. I hope we can sit over and actually increase that within our own nation on that. But hey, it's good to see that your stream is still going strong. I'm glad to see that you actually hit the 1 million subscribers. I've been away again, like I said, for a few months, so I haven't been able to catch up on you. So I'm glad to see that you still got everything going for ABL. Appreciate you taking my call, man. Good to see you again. Have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Good night.
Shout out to the caller. Great call. And welcome back to the States off of your deployment, boss. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. 773, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for taking my call. First of all, ABL, I'd like to say that you've been a big inspiration because I also am trying that 1 meal a day thing. Unfortunately, my 1 meal a day starts at 10 a.m. and lasts to 9 p.m. But I'm trying. I'm trying, ABL. I find it very curious, ABL, with that in Denver, with the Denver mayor, and doesn't want to say that they're laying people off. There might be something even more sinister afoot, because they did that here in Chicago at one time. What they did was that they needed to balance the budget. So they took all, I shouldn't say all city employees, they took a bunch of city employees that were at-will employees. And what they did was they forced days off with no pay. So they're telling you not to come to work so that they could save money on their budget. And those at-will employees were like a lot of the bosses and things like that, supervisors, bosses, because I'm in the Fraternal Order of Police, but once you become a boss and make sergeant, lieutenant, captain, you are in a different union and under different rules. It's the same if you work for the water department and you're out there doing the streets and sanitation. Once you become a supervisor, you are under like a kind of a different union. So you become an at-will employee. So all those people, they forced days off on them in order to save money. So you didn't go to work, but you also didn't make the money. So I'm wondering if there's going to be lawsuits in Denver because they're not calling it unemployment. So are they qualified for unemployment? I doubt it, ABL. What the verbiage that they're using, at-will employee and everything else, makes me think, well, you could quit if you want to quit, but we need to save money on our budget. So we are cutting back your days, maybe to 0 days, maybe to 3 days a week. They're not sure. They're trying to balance their budget. So I think you're going to see some lawsuits here and everything else because, you weren't able to go get unemployment because that means you're quitting. You weren't laid off. You weren't fired. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that, ABL. And then, the FBI and other people just love the mayor from Dalton to have a podcast because talking is just going to get you into a prison cell. Simple as that, as far as I'm concerned. So it's great that she wants to keep talking. And, con artists, that's what they do. They think they can talk their way out of it. They think they can explain it. It's the same thing with Fani Wilis. She thought, let's have the conversation. If you remember, she said that. Let's have the conversation. They're on trial, not me. Well, you'll soon be on trial. But, what these people don't realize is that the facts don't hold up to your story. Your story doesn't hold water. And it's as simple as that. Your story doesn't hold water. So we'll see what happens with that. But also, ABL, there have been policemen and others who have been found guilty of perjury. They got in trouble. They lied. Then the evidence came out. There was an investigation. And once you're convicted of perjury, all your cases are gone, meaning stuff from 10 years earlier. A lawyer can come and get you out of prison. And they let so many people go. There was that Burge thing with that detective. You know, his people were found guilty of, coercing confessions and whatnot. But even the good cases, it doesn't matter, because now there's a shadow of a doubt that you've been a convicted liar, and now all your cases are suspect. Did you start lying in this case or all your cases? So a lot of these people are going to be let go if Fani Willis and these other lawyers are disbarred and convicted of perjury, which I think they should be. But I think what will happen is the case will fall apart and then nobody will pick up the perjury charges. I doubt it, but they should. They should. But we'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure. I think that's all I wanted to say this week. There were a few other things, but I'll just leave it at that, ABL. So thanks for taking my call, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. Fantastic call. And that will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I'll be back live again, same bat time, same bat place on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. Shout out to all the mods, keeping the trolls in check. I really appreciate y'all as well. And of course, aside from the live show, which is also a podcast available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, etc., link for that will be in the description, or just search ABL Live in your favorite audio streaming platform. I should come right up. Aside from the podcast, aside from podcast, video, audio, I also put out live videos, not live videos. I also put out pre-recorded videos pretty much every day. And I have the brand new channel, Uncle ABL. Now, shout out to my man earlier who called in talking about the 1 meal a day and nutrition tips. I will be putting things about nutrition on the channel. But right now, I'm just trying to get everything rocking and rolling. And we're already pretty much hitting some milestones. We're getting close to 12,000 subs on there. That's pretty good. I started at 8,000 because that was my ABL gaming channel, and I changed it. I repurposed it for this. So I've gained almost 4,000 subs with only about 8 videos posted. That's pretty good. And my goal is to eventually make that be a bigger channel with more videos and live streams and everything else. People are already asking me, hey, man, you going to go live on here on this channel with that kind of stuff? So that'll be happening in the future. But right now, we're just trying to get it built up and get everything rocking and rolling the way it needs to be. So I think that's that for Uncle ABL. You guys, if you've not subscribed to that channel, if you're interested in, men and women dynamics, family, courts, and relationships, and nutrition, food, and what's I'm talking about there? Well, I said nutrition, relationships, and what else? What was the other one? I forgot. Oh, finance. But it ain't gonna be no give ABL money to invest into Bitcoin. It ain't gonna be that, because we know that's a scammer that asks you for that money. It's not to me. It's not to me. I don't ask you for money, huh? It's yours. But anyway, shout out to you guys for subscribing to Uncle ABL. And if you're not subscribed to this channel right here, I don't know what you're waiting on. Subscribe right now. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But I think that will be a wrap for me tonight. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.